Coming to you live from a studio somewhere that's either in a basement or a bunker, depending on who you ask. It is Combat Culture Live, covering UFC 273. Hey, everybody, how's it going? Matt Ryan here with you. Brendan Sokler having to deal with a professional emergency, had to run out in just the last moment, but we will have him back for UFC 274, which means I'm driving the boat alone tonight, but I am not alone by any stretch of the imagination. Not only do I have you amazing human beings across the Combat Culture Network, that's the Combat Culture, MMA Mania, and Bloody Elbow YouTube channels, but also on the Bloody Elbow and MMA Mania Facebook pages, on the MMA Mania Twitter account, and also on the Combat Culture Twitch channel. Shout out to all of y'all. But also, I am not alone in the studio. As always, I am joined by Olive the Fat Baby, and also on the other side of the metaphorical glass, it is the lovely, the talented, the person you see. She bees in the chat, bees in the chat, Stephanie Sotilli. Hi, friend, welcome back. With that Disney Channel flow? But Steph, after a sojourn to what could be called a convent in upstate New York, that's what I just think of all of upstate New York. I don't know what goes on there, but joy is not one of those things.
There's no sun up there.
Nope, it's where the sun went to die. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Faux Sushi. Sagat? Sagat is here? Ooh. You know what, Steph? One of the things we could do now on the YouTube, on the Combat Culture YouTube, is make polls. And I think our first poll tonight, if you're able to get that up, Steph, I just saw it right before we went on the air. Would Sagat be a UFC champion? That's going to be one of our poll questions tonight. Could Sagat be a UFC champion? Got Cam Sharp saying Sterling's keeping the belt. Olive trying to avoid being around me as I get loud and live with all of y'all for the main card of UFC 273, headlined by Alexander Volkanovski defending the UFC Featherweight title against the Korean Zombie. If you're not looking forward to this fight, I really don't know what's wrong with you as a person, but there is something seriously wrong with you. Shout out to the Stockton Mill, Shane, go, the hungover moth. What's up with you, my friend? Long time joining us. Cam Sharp saying Sterling's keeping the belt. Let us know who you think is going to be walking out of the co-main event tonight. Aljamain Sterling and Petr Yan in a rematch of a fight we called in this studio just about a year ago, where Aljamain Sterling got Shining Wizard in real life by Petr Yan. Shout out to Mark Monterey watching us on the Facebook machine. Right now we have Gary versus Weeks, which sounds like an MMA fight or a divorce, depending upon who you talk to. And if you're just joining us, Brendan Sokler had a professional emergency, had to pull out of the show. He sends his love. He sends all of his kisses and hugs to you. He had something come up at the last minute that he could not get out of. But that doesn't mean I'm alone. I've got you guys. You guys are calling the fights along with me tonight. And we also have Steph and Olive here to make sure that I don't go crazy shouting into the void by myself.
See, I disagree. I think we're all alone. We're all going to die alone.
Yes, and I couldn't update the graphic in time, which is why you see Brendan's app. But also, Brendan's just spiritually here with us. He's here with us all the time. And it is Matt Ryan here with you, calling all the action. You can follow me on Twitter at MRyanConsulting. And also, if you want to watch along with the fights tonight, we have a way to do that. That is in the description and also being dropped in the chat during tonight's broadcast. Thanks to the lovely and talented Stephanie Sotilli. Want to see what we got in terms of poll results right now? It is 58% that Sagat could be a UFC champion. 58-40, 60-40 right now. Sagat getting a lot of love in the chat. Tiger 5000 saying Petr Yan for the win. Mikey Sandell, hey friend, welcome back to joining us here. Thank you for what you do, long-time listener. First time, no, multi-time chatter. Wah. Before we go into the main card for tonight, let's talk about what's on the main card. We had a few fights moved around, one of them being a fight with Jairzinho Rozenstruik, and we'll have that poll running up until the start of the program here tonight of the main card for UFC 273, coming to you from Jacksonville, Florida, because there's only two places they can run shows: Las Vegas and, of course, Florida. Our opening fight tonight's going to be in the lightweight division. It's Mark Madsen taking on Vince Pichelle. Pichelle 14-2 walking into the octagon. Mark Madsen 11-0 inside the octagon. The Olympic level Greco-Roman wrestler who's got a silver medal in the 2016 Olympics will be looking to take out the man with the mustache and the BJJ black belt in Pichelle. We also have Mackenzie Dern taking on Tecia Torres. That fight is going to be a really interesting dichotomy between both of these fighters. Obviously, Mackenzie Dern walking into tonight following an unanimous decision loss to Marina Rodriguez the last time we saw her in the octagon last October. And for Torres, a 3-fight winning streak, 2 unanimous decisions over Angela Hill and Brianna Van Buren. Sandwiched in between that was a TKO over Sam Hughes. That ended the win over Van Buren, stopped a 4-fight losing streak. That was to Marina Rodriguez, Zhang Weili, Joanna Jędrzejczyk, and Jessica Andrade. This one's going to be a big fight. I think Torres might be able to pull out the win in the second fight of the main card tonight. Excited to see what you guys in the chat have to say. In our co-main event, which would be a fight night main event any other night of the year, Gilbert Burns and Khamzat Chimaev finally gonna fight. The most dangerous man at welterweight going up against the prettiest man at welterweight. Burns coming out of this following a unanimous decision win over Stephen Thompson back at UFC 264. And what can be said about Khamzat Chimaev that already hasn't been said by everybody else on the internet? He's 10-0. He's a murder man. He is looking to light the lamp here tonight at UFC 273. And then in our co-main event, a unification fight for the UFC Bantamweight title. Aljamain Sterling finally returning to the octagon after being illegally kneed in the dome by Petr Yan. And that one, Petr Yan is coming into this one following a win over Corey Sandhagen at UFC 257 to get that pretty piece of interim title gold. And then in our main event, the Korean Zombie is main eventing a pay-per-view. Thank you, base God. It is the Korean Zombie, Sung Jung, looking to take the UFC Featherweight title from Alexander Volkanovski. And as we learn here in mixed martial arts, anything can happen in the UFC. So we might see a title change here tonight. I want to know your thoughts in the chat. Adrian saying, you solo tonight, my guys. I'm not solo. I might be alone here on this side of the glass, but we got Steph, we've got you guys. We'll have a lot of fun talking about the fights here tonight. Fo Sushi saying Gilbert Burns about to get beat up. I don't know. That man's pretty, but he is dangerous. Like, that's the terrifying thing. And if you're joining us just now and you see the poll, top corner there, could Sagat be a UFC champion? It's yes. Obviously, the answer is yes. But that 45%, I want to know why you're thinking Sagat couldn't be a UFC champion. Like, Steph, you played Street Fighter, right?
Yeah.
Sagat, the karate, the kickboxing guy, he could win a belt in the UFC, right?
Sagat was from India, and he could stretch his limbs very, very far. So he was magic, so I would assume yes, he would win every fight.
You know what? I think that's our next poll. If you have magical powers, could you win a fight in the UFC? I think that's our next our next poll here in the chat. Engagement. We're priming the pump here tonight, right before the start of UFC 273. Sagat was a Thai fighter. E0 Dalsum was the one from India.
There we go.
You're confusing them, but Sagat was a bad motherfucker.
I only ever played Blanca.
Something about green people. Just getting it to you. According to who is in Sagat's corner. That's an interesting one. The Texorcist Live podcast saying something that someone would say, someone named the Texorcist would go off with. Khamzat Chimaev rips Burns' head off and drinks his blood. Usman, I'm a head out. A win tonight against Gilbert Burns would put Chimaev in the driver's seat for a potential fight at Usman's championship, but of course, the cop caller will probably get the next title shot at that. Shout out to Cam Sharp. George Kimmel rooting for Khamzat. It's really hard outside of all the other problematic political things going on with Chimaev that could be better left to another day and another conversation. It's hard to root against that guy. It's really hard to get him. The Stockton Mill saying Burns got this. Let us know in the chat what you think, who you think is going to win. Sagat, the man himself, the man who is based on our first poll, asking, are you showing the fights? No, I'm sorry. It's going to be my pale Irish face all show, except for when we talk to you guys, when we have the chat up on the screen. See that fancy thing? I'm able to do that now because I have control over the program. But when we talk about these fights tonight, Adrian saying Daddy Dana said if Chimaev wins, he gets Colby. And me saying Daddy Dana out loud made me feel uncomfortable, and I'm sorry that I said that. Checking in along the chat, we are not showing the fights tonight. But if you do want to watch the fights, in the description below, you are able to buy UFC 273 from ESPN Plus. And also help us out. Keep the lights on. Pay the bills. Make sure Olive gets steak on the 15th of every month. You know what? The way her contract works, let's just leave it at that. But yeah, click the link in the description. Steph just dropped it in the Combat Culture YouTube chat. So please, be a friend. Click the thing, and we also will have ways for you to put a little money down thanks to our friends over at DraftKings. We are just about 5 minutes away from the start of the UFC 273 pay-per-view, which will also mean the start of our game that we play every show. Guess the start time. We're in the third round here of the main event of the prelims. It's Gary versus Weeks in a welterweight bout, and Weeks in control here. Gary, with his back against the fence, will transition out of it and go back to the center. The UFC updating their score bug, their fight bug, which is a little getting used to. I have not watched the last couple of Fight Night cards, so I did not know if this was a new thing for tonight or something they've been doing for a while. Kick to the shin that time by Gary. Both men looking a little tired, looking a little verklempt. Leg kick that time by Gary. Kick to the midsection. Missed by Gary. And some of the props for the card tonight. We'll have some fun stuff for you throughout the evening as things come up on the screen on the big television here. The Hungover Malt saying, I'm rooting for Burns because why not? You know what? That's fair. I respect that. That's fair. That's a fair assessment for all of that. But we are here live on the Combat Culture YouTube channel, and right now taking a look at the new poll, the current poll. Could Sagat be a UFC champion? Right now it is 54-46 in the affirmative. Let us know what you think. Drop a comment in the chat. Gary annoying AF according to Eon001. Why is he annoying, Gary? Did he do something? Did he steal your lunch money? Head kick by Weeks. Adrian saying, the big question, does Chimaev have hands? I think that when it comes down to the ground game and the squeezing, I don't know if he's going to be forced into a position where Burns keeps him standing the whole fight. I don't know if we get into that situation, to be completely honest with you. But in terms of distance head strikes, we're getting into the weeds here. Gary landing 30, Weeks only landing 7. With 2:48 left to go in the ultimate round of our final prelim. Weeks controlling the outside, a little bit of raspberry jam dripping down the face of Gary. Right hand missed by Weeks. Straight left landed now by Gary. Gary missing with a right. Left by Weeks, followed up by a head kick by Gary, but not able to maintain the momentum here as we continue with 2:25 left to go. Left hand thrown by Gary. We are in the final prelim of UFC 273 before we head into the pay-per-view here tonight. Shout out to everybody watching across the Combat Culture Network. We hope that a lot of people will be joining us throughout the night. If you're following us on social media, you can give me a follow at MRyan Consulting. You can follow Steph on Twitter and also on Instagram at StephSotilly. And please give Olive a follow. Olive's a fat baby, and Weeks getting dropped for a brief moment by Gary, landing a right to the temple, almost sending him back to the motel, but Gary standing, and also his Weeks after that right hand, circling around the center of the octagon now, are both fighters. Left hand thrown by Gary. Circling around now, Gary throwing a left, met and immediately pressed up against the fence by Weeks. Gary trying to get out of this with a double underhooks, pressing Weeks up against the fence, pardon me. 1:14 left to go in this one before we go to the scorecards. And this one will delay the pay-per-view, but you know what? It's the UFC Plus era, the ESPN Plus era. And I feel like at this point, they don't need to be beholden to that satellite window. 55 seconds left to go in the round. Gary pressing Weeks up against the fence, giving him a little bit of that Midnight Express against the window feeling. Both men back to the center of the octagon. 39 seconds left to go in the third round. Circling around are both fighters. And once again, Gary has landed 43% of his significant strikes. Weeks 45. Gary throwing 130 to the 69 thrown by Weeks, though. So output, volume against percentages firmly in Gary's favor in terms of volume, but in terms of landing strikes, Weeks has been the better fighter, the more proficient fighter. Geki, the recorder, saying, Hazmat just lost. That fight didn't happen yet, folks. And if you believe him, you'll believe anything. You'll believe I'll sell you a bridge for $5. No, it'll be more than $5. It'll be at least $18.50. Matt Ryan here calling all the action for UFC 273. We're about to go to the scorecards for our final prelim before we get things started. But it is 10 o'clock. It is time to play our game, the walkout game. What time will the first walkout of the night happen? Traditionally, it'll be Brendan, myself, Steph, and you guys at home. But since we don't have Brendan tonight, he will not be in part of this. So, Steph, you get the honor of picking this evening.
I did. I won last time.
You won last time, so you get to go first. So, what's your selection here?
This is stretching on a while, so 10-16.
10-16. That's a strong one. Let us Zay Scott saying 10-17. I'm gonna go 10-15. No, you know what? 10-17. I'm gonna go with Zay Scott here. I'm gonna go 10-17. I'm gonna play a little closer to the hole, and I think Price's Right rules will do me well here. Andy Diaz asking, what is my main event prediction? You'll learn that right before the main event. I'm not going to let you guys know right now, but I do believe heading into this fight, Volkanovski feels and pretty much looks unbeatable, in my opinion. So it is, we're getting the results now, 29-28, 30-27, and 30-27 for the winner by unanimous decision. It is the future Ian Gary walking out of here, grabbing the Irish flag. Gary will get the win over Weeks by unanimous decision, and we will head into the main card with a big win for the Irish. The Hungover Moth saying he will take 10-15, starting at 10-15. Jonathan Butler saying, appreciate the channel. Well, we appreciate you. And we got Zay Scott from Duval saying, do you think that... Hold on, I'm sorry. He did this in all caps. I've got to...
You have to yell.
Do you think this card can top the last Jacksonville card? Well, Zay, I think it does. I think you have two great fights up top in Volkanovski and Korean Zombie and Yan and Aljamain Sterling. And then you have the outlier fight of Burns and Chimaev. You've got a really strong top of the card. The bottom of the card got hit with someone hit it with a galooly over the course of the week, with a couple of fights being pulled from the main card, moved around, some undercard fights getting taken off, like Jairzinho Rosenstruik being taken off the card. Charlie Cruz saying, I have the best goatee he's ever fucking seen. Well, thank you. Mid-90s bullpen pitchers are really my hair and facial hair inspirations. If you played for the Colorado Rockies between 1993 and 1999, I have studied your follicles. I just want you to know that. Tiger 5000 in the chat saying 10-22. That is a deep one. That is a really deep, that's deep into the program. That cold open must be riveting as fuck if he's saying 10-22. So, Steph, right now, you have 10-16. Me and Zay Scott have 10-17. Let us know in the chat when you think the first walkout of the night will be. When the UFC... It's already 10:04 on the East Coast where this pay-per-view is taking place. So we are probably going to be in one dilly of a pickle as we get deeper and deeper into the hour. Tiger 5000 sounding like he's got the outside shot right now to pull this one off. Ricardo Emanuel having too much faith in the Ultimate Fighting Championship to get its shit together, saying 10-14. That is a choice. Travis Tarr saying 10-26. Andy Diaz saying 10-19. Godfrey de Bouillon, which I think he won the Australian Open in 75. Godfrey de Bouillon says Kazmat just schmish, which I believe is for me to say smash in a Russian accent. I completely bombed it. Stephen Kelleher joining us in the chat. He's 6-0 so far on bets. Good for you, buddy. And you'll be able to wager from our friends at DraftKings if you're in the Combat Culture chat right now, or if you're in the description on Facebook or YouTube. You'll be able to drop a wager with a little bit of help from us here and our friends over at DraftKings. So if you want to wager on UFC 273 tonight and you're not a part of DraftKings yet, well, click the link, have a little fun, buy the ticket, take the ride. And the texter says saying 10-17, Super Adam Cox, which is an interesting, superhero nom de plume, saying sup boys with a Z, so you know he's classy. Just having some coffee at 10 o'clock at night on a Saturday and yelling at my television. And we see the cold open for UFC 273. And let us know in the chat what you guys think of tonight's main event, Volkanovski versus the Korean Zombie. That fight is last on the card, but what is blocking the daylight from this fight is the highly anticipated rematch between Aljamain Sterling and Petr Yan. That is going to be one barn-burning fight, and that'll be our co-main event. Silver and Black 831 saying salute Combat Culture, salute to you, salute to Juju Gotti, salute to Lebitard and friends. Infamous Light says, has Chimaev has Hazmat yet? No, Hazmat has not done anything. Kelleher saying Volk quickly after Geki the Recorder in the chat asking, what are your predictions for Zombie versus Volk? My prediction is I think everyone except the loser is going to have a good time. At the heart of it, Steph, I need your opinion. Going against a guy named the Korean Zombie, what do you do to battle against someone who is announced as the Korean Zombie?
I mean, what's the other person's nickname?
Alexander the Great.
Oh, that's hard. Well, he's also dead.
Yes.
So it's two dead people, so I feel like they're even.
So you think it's going to be a draw?
Yes.
All right, well, we've got Stephanie's official prediction saying it's going to be a draw, which would mean Volkanovski keeps the belt, but they will be decided over consecutive sack races, depending upon what the Florida State Athletic Commission will decide. Trigger D saying, the GOAT, Matt Ryan. Well, Trigger, you're the GOAT. You join us every month. You're a sweetie. Warren Heisey is here. Hello, Warren. And Stephen Kelleher saying, Young going to pay some bills with Sterling's ass. I don't know what that reference... I believe... Yeah, that's it. Super Adam Cox saying a heart with Zombie. Head says Volk. No, the other way around. Zombies want brains. They want brains. Faux Sushi saying Volkanovski. Yes, Steph?
What did Alexander the Great want?
To conquer the known world.
Oh, okay. I feel like brains are more easily attainable.
Possibly.
So I'm going to go with him.
Also, casual sodomy, if I read my history books right.
Why? Was Alexander the Great Greek?
Yes. And
yeah, absolutely.
shout out to our friends in the Mediterranean. Zay Scott saying he's got Aljamain Sterling winning this fight tonight. Let us know what you guys are thinking. Junior Alves joining us from Brazil. Let us know where you're watching us from tonight. All around the world, statues crumble for me, but I want to know where you are watching. Toker88 joining us. Heyo, folks. Heyo, Toker. And the new Octagon with the fancy LED lights that serve no real purpose. Like, who's watching that? Who is anticipating or reading any of those graphics unless you have severe ADHD like me, where you just get fixated on it and you just can't stop looking at it, and you're really mad that they pulled it to a wide on the jib shot. Let me stop. Trigger D live from the 209. We got Steven from Sacramento, Warren from Indianapolis, and John Attic will be calling the action tonight. I am the non-union Irish equivalent. Monterey Bay for Silver and Black 831. We've got the Hungover Moth from Arkansas. Charlie Cruz, big love from the UK. It's 3 a.m. He's tired as fuck, but the goatee is keeping me going, and I'm here for it. Bless you. Shout out to Stanley Franklin from Idaho. I think the only thing I know aside from the fact that Stanley lives there is that there are a lot of potatoes in Idaho, and they have a blue football field in Boise. Outside of that, don't know. But please, fill us in. If you want me to do my show from your house and you have significant amounts of money, also let us know. Give me a follow on Twitter at MRyan Consulting. You can follow Stephanie on Twitter at StephSotilly. And also, I got merch, and I will be raising money for Teach for America. Click the link in the chat right now and buy an impunity t-shirt or a sticker with a big chunk of the proceeds going to Teach for America. Just a t-shirt or a sticker. Public education means a lot to me, and also because I need to find other words aside from impunity to say during the broadcast. I am trying my best to make sure I'm helping the kids. Trigger D, the McRib shirt. We are working on the McRib shirt. We are trying to find a way to not get sued for a McRib shirt. This has been something we've been working on in the background since we talked about it on the show a few months ago. We've got Uncle Ed Vapes. NJ in the house. Yes, shout out to the Garden State, the place where I do my taxes and buy sandwiches. Trigger D saying, I would wear that shirt with impunity. I see what you did there. Plus 500 underdog according to DraftKings for the Korean Zombie. Do you think they're putting too much on Volkanovski, or do you think that's an accurate line? Let us know in the comments section below. Checking in on our poll that will end right before the first fight. Could Sagat be a UFC champion? 52% of you saying yes, only 48% of you saying no. Well, we're gonna find out who and what what that will go to before the first fight of the night. The Hungover Moth saying we can eat the McRib shirt if anyone threatens to sue. I don't think you can. I don't think eatable shirts are legal yet. Edible. There we go. Thank you. NYU education, by the way. Graduate of the New York University with a sociology degree.
For the love of God, donate to Teach for America.
Product of the New York City public school systems, baby. Uncle.
I'm the Florida educational system, so how does that make you feel?
I already hate myself. You're just adding to the... It's just another piece of wood on the fire. It's another log on the flame. Taking a look here in the chat machine. M. Mluza 1289 saying, love the hair today? Are you questioning that, or are you like it? Either way, let me know in the chat. Uncle Ed's Vape saying, Jersey Mike's big kahuna all day. Jersey Mike's. Trigger D saying, hashtag brother. Have I ever tried stoned pizza? I have not. Brendan has, and he has talked about it very highly to me. As long as it's got like a smoked mozzarella or something on there, I think I would very much enjoy stoned pizza. I would enjoy any pizza right now. Pizza, top 5 food in my opinion. The UFC throwing out a brand new graphics package tonight, which is really nice. And for a production and broadcast nerd like myself, I deep dive on that. Philip the Wise saying, solo tonight? Yes, I am. But I'm actually not solo. I've got all of you with me. Malusa's 1289 saying, trying to figure it out still. That's fair. I respect that. It's 10:13. Let us know when you believe the first fight will be walking out into the octagon. We right now, Steph says 10:16. I say 10:17. We had someone saying 10:22 in the chat. That is an interesting choice. Let us know what you think the walkout is in the chat below. Ricardo Emanuel saying 10-14. We've got Patrick from Bucharest, Mexico. Hey, what's going on, Patrick? We got the Stockton Mill donating $5 to the cause. B donating. Drop some coinage in the chat and be a top-level human. Shout out to the Stockton Mill. Andy Diaz moving it up to 10-25. Joe Wellwood, which is either a 70s porn or 70s funk name, saying 10-21. Toker 88, 10-17. Trigger D saying 7-21 Pacific Standard Time, which is 10-21 in real people time. Malusa saying, my hair is very rustic. I've never heard someone say hair is rustic in my 32 years of breathing in oxygen. But you know what? I take it and I respect it. I respect it and I thank you for it. Young Ed, Rocky Boy in the house. I don't know who that's about, but thank you. And now there are commercials on a pay-per-view. I feel like this is a rib on our game. This is someone in the chat working for ESPN Plus throwing in a must run to try to screw at Steph because it's 10-15. And Steph, it looks like you might lose the game here.
Oh no.
I don't know what that means. You get voted off the island, I think.
Life is over.
I know you peak at 25. I know it's a horrible, horrible feeling. Stephen Kelleher saying 10-22 and the shirt looks crisp. Thank you. This is a new shirt. Philip the Wise asking Zombie or Volk. It's still a toss-up for me. Volkanovski, for me, is the favorite. I think minus 500 is way too heavy of a line, but I can see the Oceanic crowd, the Volkanovski crowd, putting a ton of money on Volkanovski. I can see them piling a whole bunch of money and driving that line, but I'm not sure. But it is 10-16, and if there's a walkout, Steph wins, and if not, we're still alive, and if not, we push until next time.
I have 30 seconds.
John Anderson saying 10-28. E-War3 joining us from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Blessings to you. Thank you so much for watching us. And we're at the video package. We're at the video package for the opening fight, which means, Steph, you will lose, but I've got a shot.
10 seconds, shut up.
Right now, it's, according to Joe Wellwood, minus 700 for Volk right now. Oy vey. Not great for him. Mega underscore Loma saying Hazmat in the first round. Good choice. Matt Stacy from one Matt to another. Appreciate the feed. Thank you. You're a sweetie. We've got Mega Loma joining us from Serbia. My God, the mustache on Pichelle. Vince Pichelle with the mustache of mustaches. I just love a good mustache. A good mustache in combat sports. He looks like a truncated Don Fry. And you know what? It makes me want to root for him as a fighter. It makes me think that he would fight someone with a knife actually in his stomach. And that doesn't give me pause. That gives me a bit of joy. And it is 10-17. And there's Megan O'Leary. Megan O'Leary standing there. Come on, baby! Come on, walk through, son of a bitch!
Yeah, we're both losers.
Yeah. Way to
10th time I said that today.
Way to be proven right, Mom, Dad, people I went to school with, former employers, current employers. Rhino, Detroit, home of the original Sheik. Hell yeah, it's the home of the original Sheik. Shout out to Ed Farhat. There's a new book about the original Sheik that I definitely do want to read. As Mark Madsen makes his way to the octagon, the Olympic-level Greco-Roman wrestler had a silver medal in the 2016 Summer Games. He trains under Martin Kampmann. In his last couple of fights, he's knocked out 3, submitted 3, decisioned 5. He is undefeated. His last 2 fights were decided by decision, a split decision to Clay Guida and a unanimous decision to Austin Hubbard. And he got a TKO win in his UFC debut. This fight was initially supposed to happen at UFC 271 and got moved up from the 273 undercard because of the wacky races that happened earlier this week. Zay Scott saying, if Hazmat wins, who does he fight if not Colby? Ooh, it's got to be Colby unless they give him the trilogy fight again. I think the winner of this fight goes into a title eliminator against Covington, but maybe it could be Masvidal if he gets bailed out in time. 3 wins by knockout, 3 wins by submission in the career of Madsen, as I said before. 9.0 9-0 UFC takedown ratio, and as I said before, a Greco-Roman wrestling Olympic silver medalist for representing the Danish folk in the Netherlands in 2016. Trigger D in the chat saying that Pichelle stash gives his punches 1,000% more zing. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. That Pichelle stash gives his punches 1,000% more zing. Every time I see Pichelle in the octagon, it makes me want to call a fight like this because, as Stephen Kelleher says, the mustache makes him look 1920s-ish. I'm proud that I did that. Madsen, according to DraftKings, is plus 700 to win by knockout or TKO, plus 600 to win by submission, plus 215 to win by decision. And coming out now is a man walking aggressively to the octagon. His mustache leads the way for him. It's Vince Pichelle, looking exactly like what Freddie Mercury would look like if he were a combat sports athlete. He's got a black belt in BJJ, trains out of Factory X. Interesting fact, as a teenager, got kicked out of his house by his mother for a variety of problems, but found another way to rise up at the age of 15, rise out of that problem, and become an elite athlete. The story of Vince Pichelle is one to admire and one to be lauded as he walks into the octagon. He's knocked out 8, decision 6. He's been knocked out and submitted 1 time apiece. He's won his last 3 fights following a loss to Gregor Gillespie by submission. He's on a 3-fight win streak. He's the 6th highest takedown accuracy in lightweight division history at 54.8. And as mentioned before, he is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Ryu Ken, another Street Fighter name in the chat. I wouldn't actually mind seeing Merab versus Yan. I think he's better than Aljo. That'd be a fun fight. That'd be a very fun fight.
Who the fuck is Dan?
Don't say his name!
I meant like the Street Fighter character.
All right. Oh, yes.
Dan.
Who the fuck is Dan? The Texarcist calling Pichelle Don Fry's Afterbirth. I saw that band once. They were actually playing for Ken Shamrock's Cauliflowered Ear. It was a double bill. It was one hell of a show. Trigger D saying Pichelle by way of locomotive and rope. See? He does have a Snidely Whiplash quality around him. Steph, on the poll right now, I want to say, do you trust someone with a mustache like Vince Pichelle's?
Would you like to go over the results of the last
The
one?
final... Wafer thin, 203 of you voted on this. Could Sagat be a UFC champion? The final results, 51-49. Sagat could be a UFC champion. So we're answering questions one at a time here. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape for our opening contest. Pichelle 39, Madsen 37. Pichelle standing at 5'10", Madsen at 5'8". Half-pound weight advantage for Pichelle at 155.5, both with a 72-inch reach. Right now, it's slated as a pick'em according to DraftKings. Pichelle at -15, Madsen at -105. Yan has the same stance as Sagat, so that answers the question. And Bruce Buffer looking like he just swagged out the Masters with, what is that, velvet? It is. It's a green velvet jacket with black breast, like a black on the breastplate there. Beautiful jacket. That's a nice jacket. I feel like Vince Pichelle should be wearing that jacket while giving a speech. Timothy Blake, he's back on the road trucking again tonight. Glad you're joining us here, Timothy. Driving across the United States, making sure people get things. That is very, very important. Shout out to those keeping our supply chain working and working all across the United States. We are in our opening fight for UFC 273. It's Pichelle versus Madsen, a fight in the lightweight division. Madsen looking like every creative fighter in UFC 1 through 5. Looking very much like the guy in the Barbie girl video. He does look like he belongs in Aqua. As the introduction's going on from Bruce Buffer. Douglas Abramski, thank you. The hair is excellent. I will pull it down at some point. Not to titillate people, just because I need to take my hair down. Matt Stacy, yes. Sagat from Street Fighter, yes, we know. Yes, that's Sagat. And right now in the chat, would you trust someone with an old-timey mustache? It's 62-38 in the affirmative. And speaking of fancy beards, Larry...
I don't think that's smart.
And here we go. Madsen, Pichelle, the opening contest for UFC 273, and we are off. Both men stand in the center of the octagon. Trying to trace around is Madsen, switching stance. Leg kick almost takes out the knee of Madsen by Pichelle. Low kick by Madsen. Feigning that left hand is Pichelle. Just about 20 seconds gone by in round number 1. Standing in the center of the octagon, circling around. No real momentum for either fighter. 4.5 minutes remaining in round number 1. Kick to the ribs that time by Madsen. Punch to the body missed by Pichelle. Pichelle trying to control the pace of this fight. Madsen flowing here, feeling a little more open. Leg kick landed that time by Madsen. Pichelle's back tattooed. Majority of it, his entire back in his rib cage, and he gets tattooed with a kick to the ankle. With 4 minutes remaining, just over a minute gone by here in round number 1. Matt Stacy saying he can't stop staring at the stash. I can't either. I want them to just be shooting in his direction the entirety of the fight. Another leg kick by Madsen. Pichelle coming in with a wild combination of uppercuts, not landing, but landing a body kick, in Madsen shadow boxing, not able to catch up with Pichelle on a quick combination. Another leg kick, that one to the knee that time, of the outside leg of Pichelle. A little bit of a hitch in Pichelle's giddy up with 3:25 left to go. Madsen chasing in with a left to the midsection. Trying to circle around here is Madsen. 3:16 what left to go in round number 1. Madsen and Pichelle trading off control of the center of the octagon. Leg body kick missed that time by Pichelle. Pichelle, an aggressive fighter here. Both fighters throwing a little heavy, but not landing a lot of shots. Not a lot of proficiency here in the early going as they try to feel each other out. Feigning a leg kick that time by Pichelle. His leg went up lame on the attempt. Stalled like a 72 Buick with 2:47 left to go. And another kick to the knee by Madsen, and 2 quick jabs to the face of Pichelle. Another leg kick this time by Pichelle. Interesting to see Madsen not utilize his wrestling here. Not trying to challenge the grappling skills of a BJJ black belt. But with that silver medal, you would have to think Madsen could turn it around. But with 2:25, a left hand tried to go into a quick wrap-up. Did Madsen, and he eats a left and a right from Pichelle. Kick to the body by Pichelle. Pichelle looking more and more like Don Fry as this fight progresses. With 2:12 left to go. Left hand that time by Pichelle. Circling around is Madsen. Madsen throws a left. Leg kick that time landed by Madsen. 2:02 left to go in round number 1. Pichelle missing with the left hand. Leg kick that time landed by Pichelle, trying to create some consistent pressure here on Madsen. Goes inside, knee to the body, finds a way out of it. Pichelle eats a couple of hands and overextends on an overhand right and misses, but lands a kick to the body. A minute 42 left to go, and these guys are about to hockey fight in a phone booth. Standing in the center of the octagon, standing around here trying to create an opportunity is either fighter. 93 seconds left to go. Kick to the thigh that time by Pichelle. Kick to the shin by Madsen. Minute 25 left to go. Trying to take in for a clinch, and this time Madsen gets Pichelle down. Now in side control, looking to end this fight with a minute 15 left to go. Pichelle with a couple of knees. Now in transition, trying to get into the guard is Madsen, still in side control. Now on his ribs is Pichelle. Pichelle in a variation of the Luther Campbell position, face down, ass moderately up as he tries to posture up into a standing position. 57 seconds left to go. $19.99 donated to the Super Chat chat by Joe. You're a sweetie sugar pie, and I love you very much. Needed a body by Pichelle. 48 seconds left to go. Left-right combination by Madsen. Both men standing in the center of the octagon. Pichelle throwing a couple of lefts, but eating a left-right combination from Madsen. Kick to the leg once again by Pichelle, but he walks into an uppercut by Madsen with the right, but that one doesn't land stiff enough. 29 seconds left to go in round number 1. It has been a war here between these guys. They are emptying the gas tanks, and Madsen empties a right hand into the face Pichelle, but he does the emoji and continues to fight through this here with 13 seconds left to go. Both of these guys making their pay-per-view main card statements here tonight in the lightweight division. Another kick to the leg, that time by Pichelle to the outside leg, and a right-left combination at the horn, and we will go to round number 2 in Jacksonville. Thank you, War Meds, for the nice words. Jacob Larson, you're a sweetie. Thank you, Joe, for the donation. Yeah, and as Travis said, hit the like bell, ring the notification bell so you know when we are live, and also when Case Hearts and the crew at Combat Culture are dropping dope videos. And if you're watching us on MMA Mania or on Bloody Elbow, be sure to watch the WMMA podcast every single week on the MMA Mania Facebook, YouTube, and other social media platforms. Do the thing, like the thing, across social media. Colby Bumgardner saying mustache power. Just, you know what? Pichelle utilizing the power of the mustache here. Smart move, smart play there by Pichelle. Shout out to the over 300 people watching us now across the Combat Culture Network. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Share the link on social media, however you're watching us. Retweet it, quote, tweet it. Do whatever you want to do to be sure to join us here. And get your friends watching. Nothing better to do on a Saturday night than watch a long-haired weirdo yell at his television. Round number 2, kicking off here in Jacksonville. Both men standing in the center of the octagon. Pichelle changing his stance a few times. Tries to step in with a quick left. Does not land. Madsen controlling the center, but now Pichelle standing in. Both men moving like they're pieces on an electric football field. Overhand right missing by Madsen. Might have got poked in the eye, but they'll hose it down and keep it moving like an accident at Disney. 4:30 left to go, circling around the octagon. Madsen in the outside where the fancy sponsors are, not inside where the obligatory sponsors are. 4:20 blaze it left to go in round number 2. Both men meeting in the center of the octagon. Madsen eating an overhand right from Pichelle. Pichelle tried to feign in with a right hand, does not land. 4:06 left to go in round number 2. Both men here looking for the over, because there's certainly no underneath. Either of them trying to go for a trip takedown is Madsen. Not able to pull that off. Kick to the body by Pichelle. Right hand. And Pichelle saying, bring it on. He wants a war here tonight in Jacksonville. He wants to do something Urban Meyer couldn't do and get a victory in Jacksonville. 3:39 left to go in round number 2. Standing in the center. Ooh, another leg kick by Pichelle. Those are starting to matriculate in the stat sheet for Pichelle. Oh, and a quick strike exchange. The Pichelle getting the better of that one, landing in the sweet spot with a right uppercut. 3:17 left to go in round number 2. Shout out to Mr. Abdulman Baker joining us from South Africa. And shout out to Derek PNW saying it's legit broadcasting. Thank you. 3:03 and not the emo band left to go in the second round. A kick to the back of the knee of Madsen in a tie-up there. Pichelle trying to get the better of Madsen, but Madsen finding a way to clear out with 2:50 left to go. Kick to the body by Pichelle to Madsen. And punch to the face by Madsen. Interesting, both of these guys with some great ground game have kept this fight standing, and I think that lands more in Pichelle's favor, but the deeper we go, the deeper the gas tanks. This might be the opportunity for Madsen to utilize that grappling. As soon as I say that, Madsen with a reversed waistlock dragging Pichelle down to the ground. Now Pichelle just in a sitting position. It looks like Madsen looking to go for a submission here. Madsen putting Pichelle near the Luther Campbell position, had him in the fetal position, now in the Luther Campbell. He's 2 for 2 in takedowns tonight. Pichelle in trouble trying to find a way out of it, but Madsen very smartly locking the right leg underneath and just grapevining the shin and the calf of Pichelle. Pichelle now on his back and now into a hook. Could be a chance here for a submission. Tried to pull the choke. Now into a waistlock again. Pichelle finding a great scramble. Trying to pull an armbar. Grabs the ankle of Madsen. Madsen now in trouble with 1:39 left to go. Madsen having his right leg being sat on and grapevined and held onto like a child not wanting to go to the first day of kindergarten. Mommy, I don't want to go. All the kids smell like paste. But right now, Madsen being split in two by Pichelle, being drawn in halves with 1:19 left to go. Holding on to that leg for all of his life, and Pichelle trying to grab the left leg now. I don't know what he's trying to do. Maybe just try to pop out the hip joint. And now he's grapevining the leg. He has grapevined the leg, and now Madsen gets it out of it. And now immediately back into a wrestling position. When under a minute left to go in the second, left hand missed by Pichelle. Madsen still in this one. After Pichelle tried to put him in a meat grinder, overhand left landed by Madsen, but he couldn't plant on the right leg and he wobbled a bit. 40 seconds left to go. That right leg could be in trouble for Madsen. The deeper this fight goes, right hand combination and Pichelle teeing off, not landing strong, but landing anyway, just landing shots. 28 seconds left to go, and Pichelle taking Madsen down. Madsen now in a variation of a yoga pose that I don't remember because I haven't done yoga since high school, but with 18 seconds now, grabbing underneath the legs is Pichelle, and he is now folded in Madsen as if he were a chair, and now Madsen trying to control the rhythm here while sitting against the fence with 5 seconds left to go in the round. If you thought Madsen won round one, Pichelle making a case for round two. It's eight. Oh, and Pichelle giving him the and this guy, I love this fucking guy. What a guy. Checking in on the chat. The Stockton... let's take a look here. Cody Bumgardner asking, the real question is which UFC fighter has the best mustache? Let us know in the comment section below. And you know what? Would you trust someone with an old-timey mustache? The poll right now is 55-45 in the affirmative. Some of you are just too trusting, or some of you have a Teddy Roosevelt fetish. I haven't figured out which yet. Shout out to PCNS. Thank you for the kind words. Shout out to Marathon Refrigeration joining us here, as always, in the chat. And just looking at the replay here, Pichelle, just what a round from Pichelle there. Madsen had him a bit, but turning that around, it was a big transition, and I think Pichelle has evened this one up as we go to round three, which is brought to you by my ADHD and potential clinical depression. Standing in the center of the octagon, both men just throwing hands. Pichelle throwing some left, eats a left from Madsen. Madsen finding that counter left here really early in the third round. Running knee landed by Pichelle. 4:44 left to go. Another leg kick by Pichelle. Knee by Pichelle. Missed. Madsen with a right-left combination. Feigning the left were Madsen, and then Pichelle feigning with the right, not landing either time. 4.5 left to go, and Pichelle going for the takedown. Immediately stifled by Madsen. Pichelle grabbing by the hip, just trying to force Madsen into the air to drop him. It's been a hell of a performance from both fighters. 4:15 left to go. Transition now, fighting out of it. Madsen trying to go for a single leg, pressing Pichelle up against the fence. Transitions into a reverse waist lock, trying to lock in that waist lock that helped him get his second takedown. 4:01 left to go. Spinning out of it was Pichelle. Tried to hit him with a left hand, did not land. And back to the center of the octagon, both fighters go. 3:53 left to go. Left-right combination by Pichelle, not landing. Double leg takedown attempt done by Madsen. Another takedown for the silver medalist in 2016. And Pichelle trying to isolate that, trying to stop that right arm, trying to stop the mobility of Madsen, as he is in a situation here. He is in a bit of a fetal position, trying to stop Madsen, and now into a guillotine. Pichelle trying to pull the guillotine. Madsen finds his way out of it, and now into the Luther Campbell position again is Pichelle with 3:09 left to go in the third round. Madsen using Pichelle's own left arm to pop him over. What an intriguing move there by Madsen. 2:58 left to go, and now trying to go into the mount is Madsen as he sits on the left thigh of Pichelle. Trying to posture up and now interlocking the legs around the waist of Madsen is Pichelle, trying to climb up the body of the silver medalist and get back to a standing position. Madsen has turned the tide here after a second round that looked the further it went, the better in Pichelle's favor. It has turned around here, and Madsen might be able to secure a unanimous decision victory. 2:22 left to go. Young Ed asking a very good question, and well, when it comes to that, we'll find out. In a continuing here in a variation of side control is Madsen. Madsen with his right leg, basically grapevined by the thigh and calf of Pichelle, just keeping him there, and Pichelle teeing off from the bottom. Both guys here giving it all they've got with 1:50 left to go. This one might be the Crypto.com fan choice bonus of the night, which is paid, I believe, entirely in crypto. 1:39 left to go. Elbows now into the ribs and the temple of Madsen by Pichelle. He transitions out of that quickly to avoid that from Pichelle does Madsen. Madsen trying to avoid getting Kimura'd. Pichelle holding him down from the bottom, trying to pull a Kimura. 1:20 left to go in the fight. And now still in a variation of side control is Madsen. 1:13 left to go. Pichelle back on his back. Total ground control time in this round for Madsen, 2:29. So nearly a half of this round being controlled on the ground by Madsen. What an effort from Madsen here. What a night from Mark Madsen. Might be staying undefeated here. Might be going 12-0 as an MMA fighter. With 45 seconds left to go, Madsen still controlling on the ground. Pichelle on his side, not able to stand up because of the weight from Madsen. Now in the Luther Campbell, or at least in the variation of the Tebow, is Pichelle and being dragged back under deep water by Madsen. For a moment, Pichelle had his hand out like he didn't want to go. It was sadder than the end of Cocoon, but Pichelle tried to pull something off here with 15 seconds, tried to pull a knee bar, not going, and Madsen, being mad, throws a few shots at Pichelle with 9 seconds left to go. It is all but the scorecards left to decide this one. Trying to pull a triangle is Madsen, but we will go to the scorecards in Jacksonville. What a motherfucking fight! Thank you to Garrett Snyder for the kind words. Toker88 asking the real question: how is the stash holding up? It is magnificent. That mustache is Wilford Brimley levels of unflappable. Like, it will stay there, and it will stay staring at you. We just saw a highlight of Madsen punching the mustache. The mustache stayed static. Pichelle's face moved. That's what happened. Philip the Wise saying, pay the fighters. Yes, pay the fighters. Pay them in actual money. You know, more than, 13%, 18%, whatever the fakakta thing is. Philip the Wise saying he puts gel in the stash. That's a smart thing. I've never gelled my beard before, but I feel like it would be uncomfortable. I feel like it would be very, very, very uncomfortable. Let us know in the chat if you've ever done that. And Madsen looking at the camera, talking to it, probably not knowing, no one can hear what he's saying. I believe he said, vote for Baba Booey. Taking a look here. Cody Bumgardner, crypto fighter bonus needs to go to Pichelle for the amazing mustache. Everyone go vote. That's not a bad that's not a bad idea. Vote for the mustache. I'm just joshing ya. Solid YouTube channel name, saying love the energy and the channel pimp. I just said it like that because I've always wanted to say it like that. We're going to go to the officials' decision here. The scorecards, according to Bruce Buffer. 30-27, 30-27, and 29-28 from Mark Madsen. He will now go 12-0. I agree more with the 29-28. I do believe that second round should have gone to Pichelle, but Madsen in the first and third made his statement clear. Not a big fan of the 30-27, but hey, LOL Florida. Mikey Sandellin saying stick with the beard balm. Soap Toaster saying, okay, bruh, you might be one of the best announcers I've ever heard for MMA. Who needs pay-per-view? Exactly. Shout out to the Stockton Mill donating another $2 to the cause, and you can do that too. Drop it in the super chat. You see the little, if you're watching on YouTube, you see the emoji, you see the show your support for combat culture, the dollar button, and then the poll. And we've got a poll going right now, and we'll have a new one before the start of the next fight. Would you trust someone with an old-timey mustache? Steph, it's currently 55-45. Are you judging our audience?
Yes, very harshly. It's giving me hipster.
It's serving you hipster?
As the kids would say. As the kids would say, it's real sus.
I needed to take a large gulp of water after you said that. Not because I've been yelling for 15 minutes straight, but, sus. When did we get to the point where that was...
It's shortened for suspicious because no one's got time. Especially if you're talking about suspicious characters.
Is it because we're all just tired and sad?
It's also we don't trust anybody anymore because we're slowly losing faith in our fellow man, and I kind of get it.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And if you get it, follow us on Twitter at MRyan Consulting. You can follow Steph at Steph Sotilli. And now they're just showing a bunch of random white people for no real reason. And there's Andrei Arlovski. AEW superstar Andrei Arlovski in the crowd. Taking a look at the chat. Trigger D saying sup piss chiss. I don't know what that means. Oh, suspicious. Sus piss chiss. Yeah, you know what? It should be chiss. It should be chiss. Jacob Larson, I do not have a podcast, but if you want me to have a podcast, tweet at MMA Mania and say, hey, give Matt some money. Suspicielle, Trigger D saying in the chat, what would you replace sus with? Let us know in the chat. That's not a poll. Just let us know in the chat. And we're going to be judging you. If you...
Shady.
Yeah. Shiesty. I think Eminem took it. Trigger D saying pay the man. Well, they do. I just would like more money. Who doesn't want more money? But let us know what you're thinking in the chat. Shout out to everybody watching us across the Combat Culture Network. I'm Matt Ryan. Let's take a look at some of that beautiful bean footage, some of the comments in the chat here. You see we're on the Combat Culture YouTube channel. We're on the MMA Mania and Bloody Elbow YouTube channels. We're also on the MMA Mania and Bloody Elbow Facebook pages. We're on the Combat Culture Twitch, and we're on the MMA Mania Twitter machine. Matt Stacy saying the UFC needs to hire you. I feel like they wouldn't.
You have to shave your head.
The rule. That's the rule. Sorry for putting up the title screen, guys. But yeah, that's I don't think I would look good with a shaved head. If you think I do, Photoshop it and send it to @MRyan Consulting.
You have to go shave your head and have worked with Doug Stanhope.
I think I have, per my intern days. And if you're wondering what I interned for, you'll find it. Yeah. Shout out to Matt Stacy in Dickinson County, Virginia, the Legion. Is that a bar? Is that a bar, or is that just you and your friends in a fort somewhere calling yourselves the Legion? I feel like I feel like LARPing is something to where there are not more factions. There needs to be more factions in LARPing, in my opinion. I'm giving.
That's a hot take.
I know it's a real hot take. Super Adam Cox donating $9.99 to the cause. Contribution for faith and humanity. Great commentary, Matt. Thank you, sweetie.
You want to go over the poll and see?
Yeah, let's go over the poll. Let's go over
Giving me snidely whiplash.
They voted for it more? Who's voting for who?
People have never watched Rocky and Bullwinkle. This is absolutely.
I did an entire. I'm sorry for cutting you off, Steph. I did an entire show in a mustache once, and everyone was concerned. The whole audience, everyone doing the show with me.
But apparently they can trust you.
Yeah. Tyler Durton saying, where's my sidekick? I don't have a sidekick. I have a co-host. Brendan Sokler not able to join us this show. He'll be joining us for UFC 274. But joining me on the other side of the metaphorical glass is Stephanie Sotilli. And
Does he mean me?
Are you a sidekick? Are you a sidekick?
For this, yeah. Every other aspect, no. I'm in charge. I don't have a mustache.
I don't have a mustache. We just got your shirt. Gene USMC, your biggest fan in the chat, saying Steph is the GOAT.
Yeah, I do chew on tin cans.
It makes Christmas shopping for her very easy.
My teeth are killing me.
Burrito spicious, says the hungover moth. Man, I like it. I'd fist fight somebody for a good burrito right now. Nobody show up to the studio and fight me. I'm a loather, not a fighter. We've got the highlight video for Cub Swanson's next fight. I believe this is Cub Swanson breaking down his fight against the Korean Zombie as they're introducing people to the man who never goes down. He's Homer Simpson. He is Homer Simpson. The man, if he does get knocked out, just you don't notice.
He's a very hungry fighter. In fact, he's fighting for a sandwich.
He has been knocked out 3 times, but to knock him down, you need something akin to the Shroud of Turin in your fists. But coming up next, it'll be Mackenzie Dern versus Tecia Torres in our only women's fight of the main card. And a little bit later on in the broadcast, we'll have Gilbert Burns versus Khamzat Chimaev, Aljamain Sterling versus Petr Yan for the Interim Bantamweight Championship, and in our main event, Alexander Volkanovski versus Sung Jung, a.k.a. the Korean Zombie. Stephen Kelleher 8-0 in the ESPN Pick'em. You gotta give me the Iggy, brother, on who you're picking. Gotta hit me up on my cellular telephone and give me the 411, as the kids would say. But checking in here in the chat. Shout out to Bloody Elbow, giving us some love here, giving the retweet. Trigger D saying, I used to box my cousins for the Cheeto dust left in the bag. I think that's the most recession thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, that is some 90s recession stories right there.
I mean, that's now.
Yeah, it's true. So I think I saw a knife fight happen at a Costco at the gas line. It was butter knives though, but there were a lot of them. It's Choi and Swanson going into the UFC Hall of Fame. That's what that video package is. I can't hear what's going on the TV, so I was just kind of flying blind with that. The Stockton Mill saying, going with Burns. Andy Diaz asking, am I feeling it? I'm not feeling really much of anything right now. I'm feeling excited to be here with all of you guys. But for those of you just joining us, Mark Madsen won by unanimous decision to go to 12-0. And with that, Vince Pichelle dropping to 14-3 in his career. And we're getting ready for the number 5 ranked Mackenzie Dern taking on the number 7th ranked Tecia Torres. The top 5 right now is Dern at number 5, Yan Zhao at number 4, and they took the graphic away from me because I don't work for them, so they don't count me in. Colby Baumgartner in the chat. With those gas prices, fighters need to get paid more. Well, here's Kevin Eubanks and the Tonight Show Band. Stephen Kelleher picking Volk, Yan, Khamzat, and Dern. That's an interesting one. Gilbert Burns needs Steven Seagal's delusional lies tonight more than ever. The Texorcist, we as a nation need Steven Seagal's blatant lies and terrible movies now more than ever. Why? Because we need a clown to laugh at, and there's no better clown than Steven Seagal. He cosplays as a police in real life. You ever see the Steven Seagal reality show, Steph?
No. Isn't he dead?
No, he's alive. He's eating carrots with the fucking oligarchs and,
Is he a bunny?
No, he is not a bunny.
Oh, all right. Well then, no. Why the hell would I care what he does?
I don't know. He's just hanging out with autocrats. Just straight chilling with autocrats.
Isn't that those machines that give out food?
No, that's an automat. We are having a time here tonight. These video packages.
That was another word for a car.
Checking in on the chat. If you want to be a part of the conversation, please like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell. If you're just joining us for the first time ever, I'm Matt Ryan. On the other side of the metaphorical glass is Stephanie, and also Olive the Fat Baby, who you can follow on Instagram at Olive the Fat Baby. And coming up next, it is Mackenzie Dern versus Tecia Torres. Dern training at a RVCA, 3-time Performance of the Night winner against Hannah Cifers, Rhonda Marcos, and Nina Ansaroff. One fight of the night against Marina Rodriguez. She has the most submission wins in the UFC strawweight division with 4. Second most submission wins in the UFC with 4. She's submission 7 in her career, decision 4, has been decision twice. A unanimous decision loss to Marina Rodriguez in October of 2021, and ended a 4-fight winning streak, that loss to Marina. 3 first-round submissions and a unanimous decision, bookended by a unanimous decision loss to Amanda Rivas. She's 2-2 in her UFC when it comes to decisions in her UFC career. But Tecia Torres from Fall River, Massachusetts, making her walk to the octagon. A karate and taekwondo black belt, a BJJ blue belt. Been with the UFC for 8 years, signed with the UFC in 2014. Training with American Top Team. Knocked out 1, submitted 1, decisioned 11, decisioned in all 5 of her losses. So she is 11-5 when it comes to the scorecards. Might be interesting to see what she does tonight against Dern. 2 unanimous decisions. She's on a 3-fight winning streak. 2 of those unanimous decisions against Angela Hill and Brianna Van Buren, and a TKO of Sam Hughes. The win over Van Buren stopped a 4-fight losing streak to Marina Rodriguez, Zhang Weilei, Ioana Jędrzejczyk, and Jessica Andrade, as I mentioned at the top of the broadcast. And her other only pro loss was to Rose Namajunas, but in her career she has a win over Namajunas, Paige Van Zandt, Beck Rawlings, Juliana Lima, Michelle Watterson, and 2 over Angela Hill. So Tecia Torres walking into this octagon ready for a fight and ready to climb the rankings and puddle jump over Mackenzie Dern. She's tied Torres the second most wins in UFC strawweight history with 9. Third most significant strikes in the division's history with 900. So she has thrown at least 100 significant strikes in all of her wins as a strawweight. That is banana pants. Matt, with impunity, Ryan, yes, with impunity, you can buy a shirt where it says impunity and my name, and that will be dropped in the comment section throughout the night here. Please, buy my stuff. Trigger D said Mackenzie made me say Dern. And here comes Dern walking out. The weird thing about the second walkout is that they shoot them from behind. And it gives a really cool look, but it reminds me of the old Fox Sports Net show Behind the Glory, which was just like a low-rent, true Hollywood story ripoff with Jay Moore voicing it. And I don't know why they hired Jay Moore. It was just what you did in the early 2000s. You just hired Jay Moore for things. But shout out to Jay Moore. Kind of owns the Lakers now. Who the fuck would have thought that happened? Please go to tinyurl.com/yellingmerch. Proceeds will be donated to Teach for America to make sure that less people seem like me, that they're smarter, faster, and gosh darn it, they can do well in an American society. And Dern getting ready to walk inside the octagon. Getting set here in our second fight of UFC 273. There in Jacksonville, we're in the Garden State. Dern standing on top of a Trojan condom logo because advertising is the source of all things on this planet and is the only thing keeping us alive. Advertising has become the golden calf of American society. And Dern getting checked over with the Vaseline by the cut man. Let us know in the chat who you think will be walking out of here with the win tonight. Will it be Mackenzie Dern or will it be Tecia Torres? We'll be checking in on your guys' predictions. Let us know how you think they're going to win too. Drop that note in the chat as we ride along closer and closer to our main event here tonight. Trigger D predicting Mackenzie by submission. And let's take a look at Dern. Most submissions in strawweight history, as said before, with 4. And she takes a trot around the octagon, and we will get ready for our second fight of the evening here from Jacksonville inside the VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena, which is a handful and a mouthful to say when you're talking by yourself into the void. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape. Dern 29, Torres 32. Dern with the height advantage, 5'4" to the 5'1" of Torres, both coming in tonight at 115.5 pounds, and a slight reach advantage for Dern, 2.5 inches, 63 to 60.5 inches for Dern. And that height and reach advantage is going to play a huge part in the fight here tonight. And also now doing motion graphics, or the UFC, upping their graphic game as we go here in 2022. Checking in on the chat. Stephen Kelleher saying Dern by domination for all 3, so probably a submission. Timothy Blake going with the Tiny Tornado, a.k.a. Tecia Torres, who's only a plus 100 underdog, which is really solid value. I think that's really solid value for Torres, but also a very plausible selection by DraftKings and the bookmakers to set up that fight here tonight. Our second fight of the evening. Dustin Sherry asking, where's my sidekick? I had a sidekick. I had 2 sidekicks. I had a T-Mobile Sidekick 2 and a T-Mobile Sidekick 3. The Sidekick 3 was trash.
Way more funny.
Oh, that broke me. But Brendan Sokler, who's usually sitting to my left, is not here tonight. He had a professional emergency, but he'll be back with us for UFC 274. So don't you fret, don't you worry. You won't have to deal with me by myself for 2 shows in a row. Dern, the minus 120 favorite, walking into tonight's fight, 11-2. A really close fight on the scorecards in Wesley Santos, Mackenzie Dern's husband, with Mackenzie Dern's child, sitting in the front row, getting ready to reenact Beyond the Mat in real life in our second fight of the evening. Torres ready to fight, and so is Dern. And here we go with round number 1. Dern coming in fast. Torres laying out of the way like Roger Dorn and a ground ball. 4:48 left to go. Overhand left missing by Dern. Standing in the center of the octagon, pressuring Torres. Throwing some hands here. Both fighters free with the fists in the early going. Left-right combination by Dern. Overhand left and a right uppercut. Trying to go in for the takedown, but stifled by Torres. Thigh kick into a left-right combination. Dern trying to get into a transition game here early, but stifled by Torres. Torres finding a way out of it, living up to her Tornado nickname. With 420 blaze it left to go in round number 1. Left hand missed by Dern. Left-right combination missed by Dern. Torres trying to pull her inside, but Dern fighting her way out of it. 4:08 left to go in round number 1. Left hand not landing by Torres. Pacing around here is Mackenzie Dern, controlling the center of the octagon, feigning a left hook to the body. Left right, landing the left, missing the right is Dern with 3:50 left to go in round number 1. Standing in the center of the octagon are both fighters. Trying to float around here is Dern with 3:40 left to go. Left hand missed by Dern, and a right hand by Torres, cuffing the back of the head of Dern. Dern stepping inside. Rock'em sock'em time. Dern pressing Torres up against the fence. Torres trying to fight out of it. Trying to transition here is Tecia Torres. Torres pressing Dern up against the fence. Still locked inside, locked in the grips of Mackenzie Dern. But Torres trying to push and slide out of there. Trying to move it to the left and do the Harlem Shuffle out of this situation with 3:09 left to go in the round. Dern pressed firmly up against the fence. Torres trying to push off of the left shoulder of Dern and get out of that collar and elbow. And now it's just a single collar tie. Right hand right behind the head of Dern. Looks like they're dancing in the dark, but no. Dern holding on to Torres for all she's got with 2:46 left to go in round number 1. Torres trying to find a way out of this, needed a body, and Dern and Torres out of the entanglement like August and Jada, and they continue to throw hands with 2:33 left to go in round 1. Left to right to the body, landed by Dern. Coming inside, right-left combination by Torres, only landing the right. Overhand right landed by Torres. Overhand right fed into a left uppercut by Dern. Left shot by Dern. Push kick, right hand missed by Dern. 2:16 left to go in the round. Leg kick by Torres, missed overhand left, missed by Dern. Kick to the knee, landed by Torres. 2:05 left to go in round number 1. Push kick missed by Torres. Push kick lands, overhand left landed by Dern. Standing in the center of the octagon, pushing towards the defense is Dern. Trying to increase the pressure, maybe go for a takedown. Eats a kick and goes for a takedown. Misses an overhand head kick. Does Dern. Torres finding a way to evade the grappling skills and the proficiency of Mackenzie Dern. Minute 42 left to go. Overhand left. Kick to the knee landed by Torres. Back and forth, belly-to-belly fight here with a minute 34 left to go in round number 1. Dern missing with a left-right combination, a right-left combination, downstairs, upstairs, hook and an overhand by Torres landed. Torres trying to go inside, trying to land some shots, does not have the reach or the height advantage, but it might be minimal on the reach. Overhand left, missed by Torres. Pardon me, by Dern to the dome of Torres. Both fighters collapsing into one another, but not landing a strike. To go. Leg kick landed, overhand left landed by Dern. Dern throws a shot right into the jaw of Torres. Torres stays standing, and now in the center of the octagon, both fighters continue. Under a minute 51 seconds left to go in round number 1 of 3 in the UFC strawweight division. Torres kicking at the knee of Dern, who throws a left-right combination, landing the right with impunity by the Merch. Dern landing 17 of 70, 24%. Torres landing 25 of 47, 53% in terms of significant strikes. Torres eats a right hand from Dern. Super kick to the midsection by Torres. Dern tries to catch it on the second one, but Torres wiggles her feet out of there like she's the bride in Kill Bill 1. Kick to the knee by Torres to Dern. 17 seconds left to go in round number 1. Tisha Torres might be walking out of here with a 10-9 round, and that is not something Mackenzie Dern could have foreseen walking into this one. Left-right combination, push kick again by Torres. Another savate kick, and we will go to round number 2 in Jacksonville. Checking in on the chat. Thank you to Dylan and Raiden for liking one of my jokes. Thank you so much for everybody watching along in the chat. I'm Matt Ryan, calling all the action with you. On the other side of the metaphorical glass is Stephanie Sotilli. Hi, Steph.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm looking at bunnies in between reading the chat.
That sounds tremendous. Jacob Larson, super kick. Did she learn under Jose Lothario? Bravo, Jacob. Fucking bravo on that one. That is a great reference. That's a top 10 reference. I'm Matt Ryan, usually joined by Brendan Sokler. Brendan not here tonight due to professional things, but Stephanie Sotilli is here. Olive the Fat Baby is here, and someone just holding up a philosophy textbook and telling me everything I know is wrong about sports and society. But they're right. They're right. We'll start round number 2 here. Torres trying to chase down Dern. Dern in the center of the octagon, walking right in, eating a right hand, and another savate kick from Torres. Tisha Torres lighting the lamp like the Rangers on the road to the playoffs. And I sounded like Jim Mora there in the way I said playoffs, and I hate myself. Kick to the back of the thigh by Torres. Caught Dern from going ass over tea kettle. And now Torres paying for it by being pressed, and Mackenzie Dern just Luthez pressed Tisha Torres while holding on to her. What the fuck was that? Dern just backpacked in the front and tried to pull an armbar, and now Torres is baby Bjorning Mackenzie Dern, while she's pressed up against the fence, now trying to go for a Kimura is Dern. Dern trying to lock into Kimura while locked around the waist of Tecia Torres. Mackenzie Dern using the element of surprise, trying to rip out the AC joint of Tecia Torres with 3:49 left to go. Torres remaining composed while another human being the same weight as her is straddled against her waist while she is pressed up against the fence. The core strength of Tecia Torres is ridiculous, and the Kimura by Dern trying to tighten it and ratchet it up is Mackenzie Dern. Dern trying to transition out of it. Torres holding on to Dern for dear life. 3:23 left to go in the round. Dern trying to pop off the hip and now locks the leg. Does a stretch muffler Kimura. Does Mackenzie Dern. And this one could be over. Dern has the Kimura locked in. Right on the shoulder, pressing the arms all just driving and holding on to it. Now Torres trying to roll out of it. Torres trying to roll out of it. And she does. Tecia Torres rolls through, but the Kimura still being held by Mackenzie Dern. And it's let go. And Dern on the canvas now. And Torres putting her in a vertical press, rolling her up like it's a Mahi-style cradle. With 2:41 left to go, and Dern trying to pull the Kimura again. Dern's got the Kimura again. 2:35 left to go, trying to sink it in while hooking the left leg around the back of Tecia Torres' head. 2:27 left to go in the round. Trying to lock things in here is Mackenzie Dern after the pop-up Thez press into the Kimura. 2:18 left to go. Dern looking gassed, pressed on the canvas right now. Torres trying to find a way out of this Kimura attempt. Trying to roll through, and Dern just locking her legs around the back of Torres' head and her midsection. And then straddling in that line, trying to pull in the shoulder, trying to pull the Kimura there. But Torres interlocking her hands, locking them around the left forearm of Mackenzie Dern and not pull that Kimura. Dern switching her stance here with her legs, tried to press up, possibly pop around, but with 95 seconds left to go in the round, a little bit of a mouse underneath the right eye of Torres, trying to push and use some leverage, trying to fulcrum this one, trying to swing the pendulum back the other way, is Mackenzie Dern. Dern trying to push off of that right leg and use her left leg to push off of the shoulder and finding a way out of it now into a knee bar attempt by Dern. Dern has held on and will not let go. It is like student loans. Mackenzie Dern going Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac on a motherfucker, and Tecia Torres trying to find a way out of it. Now grabs a waist lock. She waist locks Dern while Dern is trying to go for a knee bar, and Dern is now just getting kicked in the face by Tecia Torres, and it looks like they're leg wrestling. And now with 45 seconds left to go, pulling at the knee and the ankle of Tecia Torres is Mackenzie Dern, pushing the ankle down with her left or right hand and pushing up her knee with her right, just trying to pop the joint like you were carving a turkey. Under 30 seconds now left to go in round number 2. Torres trying to find a way out of this after Mackenzie Dern done and dusted her, treated her like there was Bob Roop treating the new guy in the Florida office. Now back elbows from Dern to Torres. Torres trying to hold on to that right arm now as Dern continues to leverage and fulcrum the knee of Tecia Torres. This is a torture chamber I would want nothing to do with, and we will go to the third round in Jacksonville. Taking a look at the chat here. Trigger saying cries in toxic debt. So Dern winning this round with the sub attempts? Yes. Yes, she is. Jacob Larson saying, get this man a fucking burrito. I would enjoy a burrito right now. Trigger D saying, she just seen red, bro. Shout out to Dustin Cherry for the nice words. And also, if you like sub attempts, you should subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're watching us live on Combat Culture, ring the notification bell, hit that subscribe button, and also hit a like on this video, because the more people who like this video, the more people will see this video because of YouTube's algorithm. Rhino saying working that leg like a four horseman. She went Ric Flair 45 minutes into a Broadway. Timothy Blake, I fucking love this guy. Play-by-play is called UFC's got nothing on you, Ryan. Oh, you're a sweetie pie. The next time the UFC will be on television is Vicente Luque versus Bilal Muhammad 2. That's on Saturday, April 16th. If you want to follow along with the coverage, go to MMAmania.com or BloodyElbow.com. And Dern coming out swinging in round number 3. Right hands landed by Dern. Torres on her bicycle here in a little bit of trouble. As we enter the third round for the second straight fight here on the main card, we have 3 more fights. Spinning back kick, but Torres almost gets yeeted from a right hand by Dern. Kick to the body, followed by a right-left combination to the head. And Dern has turned this fight around after Torres dominated or set the pace in round 1. Dern stood and delivered in round 2 after Thez pressing Torres and holding on to her like she was climbing up a tree with 4:11 left to go here. In the round, leg kick missed by Dern. 4:05 left to go. Torres still on her back foot. Still trying to trace around. Leg kick landed by Torres. Savate kick landed by Torres. Chasing around. Torres is Dern, missing with a left hand. Torres missing hard with an overhand right kick to the body. Landed by Mackenzie Dern. 3:45 left to go. Can kick landed by Dern. That's the office telling us that we've been given a nice hat. We got lovely hats here. 3:36 left to go in round number 3, the final round of the strawweight fight. And Torres just bull rushing Mackenzie Dern, trying to just push her off. Another knee kick that time by Dern. Left hand landed by Dern to Torres. Overhand left missed by Dern. Left jab missed by Dern. Relying a lot on that left hand. Torres is there to meet it. Trying to set up that right was Dern. Quick skirmish. Dern landing a few shots here. 35-10. Dern leading in head strikes in this fight. The stats are really helping out Mackenzie Dern here. 3 body strikes, but 15 landed by Torres. So plus 12 there. And in terms of leg kicks, 2 by Dern, 19 by Tecia Torres. That's a fair amount of leg kicks. Torres pressed up against the octagon, now moved towards the center, grabbing the leg. Dern has the leg of Torres, and now like a flamingo, Torres one-legged, holding on to Dern, trying to avoid that trip takedown, and it's inevitable at this point, but a kick to the face by Torres! Torres caught Dern slipping! Torres might have got Dern where she lived, kicked her right in the face with the heel, with the heel, spinning heel kick by Torres to Dern. Dern looking a little glassy here, looking a little wobbly. 2:12 left to go now. Spinning around and feigning the kick by Torres. Switches stances again. 2:05 overhand left landed by Dern. Right. Ooh, overhand right landed by Torres. Dern landing a shot of her own kick to the body by Torres. Torres once again doing that bull rush coming in, trying to set up an avoidance of the grapple kick to the body, that time by Torres to Dern. Minute 46 left to go, leg kick landed by Torres. Minute 40 left to go. The energy between these two is boundless. It is very high bunny energy here from both of these fighters. 92 seconds left to go in the third round. Kick to the back of the leg by Torres. Torres eating a couple of shots from Dern, but Torres landing a few, comes charging in with an overhand right, Dern with a run of her own. Trips to Dern. Basically, Charlie horses the back of her knee with her hand, cupped it, and she scooted right down onto her tuchus, but Dern back up with a minute 09 left to go in the round. Dern avoiding another feigned spinning back kick by Torres. We are under 1 minute. Overhand right not landed. Coming in, throwing some hard strikes is Dern, but whiffing really strong on that one. Not a good OBP today from Mackenzie Dern in terms of landing strikes. Another leg kick to the back of the thigh by Torres. Kicking that outside leg. Torres has been making a cottage industry out of that. Kick to the body, overhand right landed by Torres. Torres trying to step in. 30 seconds, overhand right landed by Dern. Overhand left missed by Dern. 23 seconds left to go. And just to clarify this, she is not related to Laura Dern, or Bruce Dern. Significant strikes in this round, 12 for Dern, 27 for Torres. Doubling up is Torres on Dern in this round. Ooh, and Torres eating a shot, and now trying to take the right leg. Trying to take the leg of Mackenzie Dern. Is Torres into a scramble, and now we will go to the scorecards. Here in Jacksonville, both of them convinced that they got the win. Let us know in the chat if you're watching along who got the win. Mackenzie Dern's family celebrating here. That second round definitely to Mackenzie Dern. This third round, a toss-up. But I could see it being a close fight here. I could see a draw, but I could also see either of these fighters winning. And on the replay, showing that pop-up into the Kimura that really changed the tone of this fight in the second round. Shout out to Scott Gordon donating $2 to the cause. You are a sweetie for doing that. Shout out to Auburn Man for the kind words. Taking a look here at the chat. Someone asking, am I related to Paul Felder? No, sadly, I'm just another loud white guy with red hair who happens to like fighting. Trigger D saying this is earlier in the fight. Dern needs to throw that BJJ shit out and just see some red. I can't wait to see some of the stats from that fight. I can't wait to see how that materialized here. Over 400 watching us across the Combat Culture Network. We're so grateful that you're joining us here tonight across Combat Culture. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and also donate to the Super Chat. Be cool. Be a sweetie. That's what we call you when you donate here. Be a sweetie and donate to the Super Chat. Or, like, comment, subscribe. If you don't got the cash, we understand. But if you want to levy some cash, if you want to make some of that scuttle, some of that cheese, some of that guap, as they say, please click the link in the description. We'll be dropping it throughout the night so you can make a free bet, courtesy of our friends over at DraftKings. Bill Elder saying, okay, I'm ready for the hype train fight. Choo-choo, motherfuckers, choo-choo. But before that, let's go to the scorecards. Bruce Buffer saying after 3 rounds, we're going to the judges' scorecards for a decision. 29-28 for Torres. Oh, we got a split decision. 29-28 for Dern. And the winner of this fight, 29-28. And staying in the top 5 is Mackenzie Dern. An amazing effort from Tecia Torres, but Mackenzie Dern getting the victory here tonight. Shout out to Marathon Refrigeration donating $5 to the cause. Shout out to Young Ed for saying the kind words about my work tonight. Thank you, John Baez, for the same. If you're just joining us for the first time ever, I'm Matt Ryan. I'm usually joined by Brendan Sokler. He's not here with us tonight, but he'll be with us for UFC 274. And joining me on the other side of the glass is Stephanie Sotilli and also Olive the Fat Baby, who is sleeping or plotting schemes. I'm not sure which one is scaring me more. Timothy Blake lost $10. I'm sorry, Tim. I'm sorry. That's $10 that you'll never see again. But if you haven't already signed up to DraftKings, we might be able to help you win that $10 back because of skill, luck, and determination. But we move on here. We're getting ready for the co-main event at UFC 273. Kelleher 9-0 on the night. Stephen Kelleher in the chat. If you've been doing a pick'em or you bet legally using DraftKings or another legal bet provider, let us know your picks tonight. Let us know what you're thinking ahead of that. Loke saying Matt Brown seen the same fate. Oof, just coming in with some wild shots there, pal. But Mackenzie Dern improving to 12-2. We'll have Khamzat Chimaev going up against Gilbert Burns in our next fight. We'll break down that fight for you in just a second. And then we have the big ones. We have Petr Yan going up against Aljamain Sterling. And then in our main event, Alexander Volkanovski versus the Korean zombie, Sung Jung. Shout out to the Stockton Mill donating another $2 to the cause. And you can do the same thing by clicking the dollar button. Little dollar gimmick right there in the chat function right there. Right next to the poll. What's my drink of the night? I am drinking some lovely cold frozen coffee that has been chilling in my freezer for the last couple of hours. Nothing like some red coffee. Super Adam Cox donating another $1.99 to the cause saying, I'm a sweetie twice today. And there's Tony Khan and Jim Ross because it is in Jacksonville, and that is the home of AEW. They cut off them immediately to show Pedro Munoz, who's in the audience here tonight. And we are seeing Gilbert Burns getting ready for his fight. 20-4. His last fight, he defeated Stephen Thompson by unanimous decision at UFC 254 back in July of last year. And Charlene finally joining us. Hey, Charlene, glad you're joining us here too. And if you're joining us for the first time or the 15th time or the second time or whatever, we're so glad you're joining us here tonight. We are so happy to be bringing you UFC 273 and all of the UFC pay-per-views here on Combat Culture. We bring you every major pay-per-view. Hey, we might even bring you a Canelo fight this year. We're trying things here. And UFC 274, speaking of that, we will be back on May 7th at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9:45. We'll get things rolling here on Combat Culture. In the main event for the UFC lightweight title, give me this fight. I need it more than oxygen itself. Charles Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje, Rose Namajunas versus Carla Esparza, Michael Chandler and Tony Ferguson are going to murder each other on pay-per-view. We've got Shogun versus OSP and Donald Cerrone versus Joe Lozon in the old man fight to start things off. That one's the Expendables fight. That will get us started on pay-per-view from the Footprint Center. I don't know where that is. Never heard of that before today. But that will be the next time the UFC is on pay-per-view and the next time we're here live on Combat Culture. For those of you just joining us, I'm Matt Ryan. On the other side of the metaphorical glass is Stephanie Sotilli and Olive the Fat Baby. They're showing us a live shot of Jacksonville, Florida. Bill Elder saying, wow, 274 is going to be wild. Yes, it is. I cannot wait for that one. Timothy Blake saying it's a retirement fight for them both. And that's the thing is, like, this generation of UFC and mixed martial artists, we're seeing a lot of retirements, or we're seeing the conversation for retirement around a lot of fighters. And it's bittersweet because you love watching these guys fight, but you also don't want them to hurt themselves anymore, put themselves in position to where the long-term effects will be slightly negative. Taking a look here. Trigger D saying Tony by way of pocket sand. Smash that like button, guys. Smash that like button. And, Steph, how are you feeling so far in the evening?
A little hot, a little hungry.
Same.
Still don't know what an automat is.
It's a restaurant in Jersey City. But if you want to turn on some cooling systems, you can most certainly do that with no qualms whatsoever. But Gilbert Burns getting ready for a fight that will heat up the room here in the studio and also heat up the world of MMA. I cannot wait to see what happens when Burns and Chimaev stand across each other from inside the octagon. And Bill Elder saying, I still remember sitting in a Hooters when Lozon knocked out Pulver in his UFC debut. I feel like whenever you start a sentence with, I remember sitting in a Hooters, there are not a lot of ways it can go without then the cops were called. Can I get a ruling on that? Is that an accurate ruling?
One more time?
If you see and this can be the next question on the poll.
Okay.
I still remember sitting in a Hooters when ... Is that a situation where it always ends with then the cops were called?
That's not a question, but I can try to put that in the poll, but I think people will be confused. Would you like to Jeopardy that and put it in the form of a question?
Yes.
All right, then. Proceed.
Okay. I can't do I can't do it. My brain hurts. J.R. Templeton saying, I saw Wayne Gretzky in a Hooters once. That's also, I feel like, do you expect to see famous people in a Hooters? There's the poll question.
Okay.
There's the poll question. But let us know if you've seen a famous person at a Hooters. I got spat on by a famous person at a Dave & Buster's in Midtown once. Almost spat on. I was covering a press conference for a fight. Ryan Englund saying, when Smish? Smish coming next. They're showing the video package for Gilbert Burns and Chimaev. And I can't wait for this fight. It is 11:30 in the Eastern Standard Time Zone, and we're already on the third fight. Sure, there's 2 5-rounders coming up, but shut up. Shut up. Stephen Kelleher saying, yes, famous waitresses. Sean Pick asking what I'm drinking tonight. I am drinking some red coffee from California. And it is delicious. Darth Kratos just saying, Karl Malone! I don't know if that's... And Bill, yes, I know that's where people used to watch UFC pay-per-views. And I'm not making fun of you. You're an awesome fan, and I'm really grateful for you. I like the question of being in a Hooters. Every time I've heard about someone having a social interaction at a Hooters, it did involve the police or someone needing to call the police. It's got the BJ, too much of the BJ Penn variable for me, where the cops might be called. That's a thing that could happen. I'm Matt Ryan, bringing you UFC 273 on Combat Culture, across the Combat Culture Network. And they're doing the fancy intros for this one. It's a triple main event because it's only a main event if you get a fancy intro. I think that's a rule. Checking in here. Tony Sincada saying bet round 3 will start. He thinks that someone who's never been to a decision, Khamzat Chimaev, making his walk to the octagon right now in our co main event. A BJJ blue belt, a freestyle wrestler, emigrated to Sweden from Chechnya, inspired to be a fighter. This is a fun fact. While watching Jose Aldo and Conor McGregor while on break working at a convenience store, that fight now Khamzat Chimaev is the legacy of that Aldo McGregor fight. And Chimaev so excited, he is ultimate warrioring his way to the octagon, and he is ready for a fight. He got there in record time. The man from Bindyur, Chechnya, is inside, ready to go, getting ready to get worked on by the cut man. And he's got the record for the fastest consecutive wins in modern UFC history. That's 10 days. 10 days between wins. Record for the quickest 3-fight win streak in modern UFC history, 66 days. He fought 3 fights in under 2 months. 3 months. I don't know how the fuck that shit happens. I don't know how that's legal. Someone make that make sense to me in the chat. And checking in here, Douglas Abramsky, Matt Ryan, the quarterback? No. I am not an Indianapolis Colt. I don't think I've been to Indiana once, and it was to catch a flight. Checking in here on the in the chat here. Gilbert Burns is tough. He can't quit, said Tony Sincada. War Meds is Till in his corner. I don't think I see Darren Till, but Mike Beltran is the referee for this fight. And George Kimmel saying it's illegal because of his beard. I don't know what that means. But taking a look here on the chat, do you expect to see famous people in the Hooters right now? 38% say yeah, 36% say yes, 64% say no. According to DraftKings, Chimaev winning by knockout or TKO is plus 110. Chances to win by submission plus 275. Chances for him to win by decision plus 380. Trigger D wishes Khamzat had Beltran's mustache. Now that would be an awesome facial hair look. That chin strap beard he's got rocking, and the braided mustache. I feel like that's a top flight look. I think that's, you know what? I think I'm going to aspire to that look in 2035. By 2035, I will aspire to have that look. And Gilbert Burns will make his way to the octagon. Spencer Shane saying winner gets Colby. I think the winner of our opening, I think the winner of this gets Colby. I think the winner of this gets Colby Covington or finds themselves in a situation to face Jorge Masvidal once Jorge Masvidal's stuff is handled. And Bill Elder saying doesn't he have a 100% finish rate? Yes. Khamzat Chimaev has never been defeated, and he's never been to a decision. He has never even been to the 3rd round. And that's pretty banana pants. And here comes Gilbert Burns. He's making his way to the octagon. And I'm always trying to figure out whether or not I think the UFC should have and Chimaev sitting on the edge of the octagon like a bird, and Dern Till is there. Dern Till in the corner of Gilbert Burns. That is just just a cherry on the cake. Just a cherry on the sundae for this one. Burns walking to the octagon with what looks like 2 generations of independent wrestler on either side of him. Timothy Blake, has he even been hit yet? I believe so. Hike, Bike, Eat, which sounds like the hippie version of Eat, Pray, Love. Odds makers are way disrespecting Burns. Well, we'll see that in a second. Stockton Mills saying his eyes get closed tonight, which either sounds like a vague threat or something that would be said in a 90s R&B love song. Gilbert Burns has 10 first-round finishes, finished 14 of his 20 wins, 5 by knockout, 8 by submission, and is a BJJ black belt. And those stats are going to be a key thing for Burns tonight. And taking a look here, third-degree BJJ black belt is Gilbert Burns. He's knocked out 6, submitted 8, decision 6, but he's been knocked out and decision twice, coming off of a unanimous decision over Stephen Thompson at UFC 264. Was on a 6-fight winning streak until losing to Kamaru Usman at UFC 258. He's got wins over Tyron Woodley, Demian Maia, among others. All 4 of his pro losses have come in the UFC. Shout out to the Stockton Mill for donating another $5 to the cause. Spencer Shane saying, respect what you do. By now they should have you next to Joe and Daniel at ringside. Oh, that's sweet. Paul Fetty donating $1.99 to the cause. Trigger D with a joke that we'll all appreciate. Mr. Burns going to need Smithers to help him tonight. Lee Pierce rooting for Gilbert Burns. We are live here from the studios of Yelling, a.k.a. a basement or a bunker somewhere in the state of New Jersey. And Gilbert Burns inside the ViStar Memorial Arena. Med Lilane asking, when is the zombie guy fighting? He's in the main event. That's 2 fights from now. Shout out to Charlene Cernagel saying Matt is the best. Oh, you're a sweetie pie. And if you want to be a sweetie, you can donate to the super chat. The easiest way to do that is by hitting the $ in the chat function. We've got a poll going on right now that we'll check on in between rounds. Do you expect to see famous people in the Hooters? 31% say no. 31% say yes, 61% say no. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape. Chimaev 27, Burns 35. Chimaev 6'2" to the 5'10" of Gilbert Burns. Short king Gilbert Burns in a bit of trouble here. And then you take a look at the reach. 71 inches for Burns, 75-inch reach for Chimaev, and both men coming in at 170 pounds. We're taking a look at the chat. Thank you so much for Paul Fetty saying, thanks for being awesome, Matt. Aloha. Aloha to you. Otis Sheldon saying, when you mean famous, do you mean wanted? No, I just mean like a famous person. Trigger D saying it the best. Vlade Divac. Vlade Divac being seen at the Hooters is right now the leader, I think. I think that takes pole position in terms of famous people. Jeremy Jordan donating $5 to the cause. Excellent commentary. You're excellent watching it. And we have 666 people watching us in the Combat Culture channel. So, yes, pray, all hail West Texas. Warmed saying, will Gilbert make it to the second round? I don't know, but he's a plus 375 underdog. So odds are saying no. And one of the people inside the cage with him looks like one of the troll guys that hung out with Ryan on The Office. I forget what his name was, but Steph, I think you know who I'm talking about.
Who?
The weird guy that hung out with Ryan when he had the exec job on The Office.
Oh, what Dwight called Gandalf.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's what he
He called him, he was some sort of Lord of the Rings character. And here we go, Khamzat Chimaev, Gilbert Burns. It is time for violence in Jacksonville, which is an oxymoron. And here we go at round number 1. Kick to the body by Chimaev. Chimaev putting the pressure on early. Chimaev gets hit with a right hand, but Chimaev looking to smash, looking to go for the takedown, trying to pop over Gilbert Burns. Burns pressed up against the fence in the early going. Also, Vlade Divac cooler than Karl Malone for reasons you should Google. 4:35 left to go. Chimaev pressing Burns up against the octagon wall. Stomping on the foot is Chimaev. This is not a place Gilbert Burns wants to be. Burns trying to avoid the takedown. One leg picked up by Chimaev, but Burns stifles the takedown again. Electric boogalooing his way out of being taken to the ground, but Chimaev lighting Burns up with shots here in round number 1. 4:11 left to go in round number 1 of 3 in the UFC welterweight division. Now dragging Burns across the octagon is Chimaev, and Chimaev now has Burns down on the ground. Burns trying to possibly do a bulldog choke or headlock his way out of it. Now both men back up to a vertical base. Now Burns pressed up against the fence. Back elbow by Burns to the face of Chimaev. Burns rolls through, but Chimaev holds on. Hazmat Chimaev now trying to go into a mount position. Burns trying to fight his way out of it. Chimaev now standing. Burns turtling on his back. Kicking the legs is Chimaev. 3:33 left to go in round number 1. And Beltran will stand Burns back up. 3:23 left to go in round number 1. Chimaev controlling the pace of this fight. Burns not knowing what to do with his hands as if he just won the Talladega race. 3:11, well, the amber is the color of your energy. Left to go in round number 1. Chimaev controlling the center of the octagon. Leg kick by Burns, and Chimaev gets that knee locked up for a second. Burns trying to turn the tide, but he's still on his back foot. Chimaev with lefts and rights. A right hand caught Burns. On a right uppercut by Chimaev. Chimaev avoids a body kick by Burns. 2:46 left to go. Overhand left landed by Burns, standing in the center of the octagon. Burns looking a little tired. Chimaev eats a right hand, gets sent back, but still standing. Straight left landed by Burns. Shout out to Raiden Thakrar, donating $4.99 to the cause. 2.5 minutes left to go in round number 1. Leg kick not landed by Burns. Burns avoiding an uppercut, barely getting out of the way after eating an overhand left from Chimaev. 2:21 left to go in round number 1. Overhand right strikes landing with impunity by Chimaev. Burns finding a way out of it though, minimizing the damage. Left-right combination landed by Burns. 2:09 left to go in round number 1. Overhand right not landed by Burns to Chimaev. Keeping his hands up is Burns. Chimaev. Punch to the body by Burns. 2 minutes left to go in round number 1. Standing in the center of the octagon, a lot of frenetic energy here. Left-right combination barely landing by Burns. Chimaev looking to keep the pressure on. Overhand right not landed. Trying to drag in, trying to get Burns into deep water. Overhand left not landed by Burns on the Chimaev. Chimaev feigning with the left hand, circling around is Burns. Overhand left-right combination by Chimaev, but right uppercut landed by Burns, and that one had some pepper on it. 90 seconds left to go in the round, switching up his stances. Burns, overhand right, both men land. Inside, Chimaev trips up, eating a shot from Burns, but he landed one himself before he slipped up. Minute 18 left to go in round number 1. Leg kick landed by Chimaev. Left-right combination barely landed by Burns. 1:08 left to go in round number 1. Standing in the center of the octagon are both men wearing board shorts. Burns is slit up the side. Chimaev's a more traditional. Actually, those are more Muay Thai shorts by Burns. Chimaev in the board shorts. Controlling. Oh, Burns gets caught with a right hand. Goes down. Burns with the eating the uppercut. And now Chimaev teeing off like it's spring training. Trying to fight from the bottom is Burns. It's a game of rock'em sock'em robots. Burns trying to go in for the leg grapevine, trying to pull the triangle. Chimaev avoids it, stands right up, trying to find a way to break the puzzle that is Gilbert Burns and try to get him standing. And the referee, Mike Beltran, will get him standing with 24 seconds left to go in the round. Chimaev might have pulled this round out of his ass with that right hand. Burns missing with a right hand of his own. 15 seconds now left to go in round number 1. Left-right combination missing from both fighters. 10 seconds left to go in the round now. Both men standing in the center of the octagon. Leg kick landed by Chimaev, but he got caught in the crossfire. Burns trying to land a straight left, and we will go to round number 2 in Jacksonville. Shout out to Jorge Mendoza, liking and subscribing. And shout out here, Trigger D saying he survived the smishing. Yes, he did. Making his way downtown, walking fast, thinking slow, and Burns is bleeding. There is a cut. There's a few cuts on his face, and it looks like he might have popped a cauliflower ear. There's that right hand, caught him in the nose on the replay. That might be where the raspberry jam is coming from. But Chimaev with a hell of a round here. Burns making Chimaev look a bit human. But there were points in this round where Hazmat Chimaev, you see on the replay, dropping an elbow right on the face of Gilbert Burns. Shout out to everybody saying nice words in the chat. And we will continue with round number 2. Both men standing in the center of the octagon. Burns trying to control the pace here in round number 2. Leg kick landed by Chimaev. Body kick missed by Chimaev. Burns steps inside, missing with 2 lefts and then a right. Oh, Burns going for the takedown, but Chimaev crawls out of it and gets back to a standing position. Both men now back to the center of the octagon. 4.5 minutes left to go in the round. Feigning a kick was Burns. Steps inside, eats a right hand from Chimaev, does Burns after feigning a shot of his own. Left to the body, landed by Chimaev. Overhand right, landed by Chimaev. Another right hand landed by Chimaev, trying to pressure Burns here with 4:12 left to go in round number 2. 2 straight rights, one to the chest, one to the head. Oh, a right hand landed by Burns to the face of Chimaev. Chimaev eating a couple of shots from Burns. Overhand right, a big bear paw from Chimaev. Eats a kick to the body, deflects another overhand right by Burns is Chimaev with 3:53 left to go. Another leg kick by Chimaev. Burns back towards the fence. Way more of the octagon in front of him than behind him. Gets back into the center, but another body kick by Chimaev. And another overhand left, and now leg kicks. Tried to set up a combination, did Burns. Chimaev avoided it. Throws a combination. Left-right combination, and uppercut. Gets Burns bouncing off of the octagon. Another 2 straight rights from Chimaev. Another right hand. Trying to follow up with that right hand. Set up the left hand counter. Eats a shot from Burns. Burns trying to go for the single leg. And Chimaev finds a way out of it with 3:12 left to go in the second round in this welterweight fight. Kick to the body. 3:05 left to go in the round. Trying to find some pressure here. Circling around with 3 minutes left to go. Right hand, Chimaev goes down. Burns trying to layer. He's teeing off. Both men teeing off on each other. Burns in control. Burns trying to land the knockout blow. Chimaev in trouble. And they will find a way to keep this fight going. A left hand and a jaw by Burns. Left-right combination by Chimaev. Burns throwing everything he can. Throws a quick right hook to Chimaev. That one lands. Overhand right now in a Muay Thai variation. Both, and a right hand. Chimaev bleeding. Burns hunched over. He's been bleeding. These two are beating the piss out of each other in Jacksonville. Kick to the body that time by Burns. 2:20 left to go in round number 2. Kick to the leg by Chimaev to Burns. 2:13 left to go. In the second round, right hand stop by Chimaev from Burns. Left-right combination by Burns on the Chimaev. That one landed in the center of the octagon. 2 minutes left to go. Punch to the body by Burns. Oh, and a right uppercut. Catches a Burns on a stray and sends him back a bit. Left-right from both of these fighters. The minute 48 left to go. Burns takedown attempt stifled. Chimaev trying to find something here. Burns trying to pull the triangle and now just landing hammer fist from the bottom and push kicks Chimaev back 3 feet. God damn, what a fight. 93 seconds left to go. They both know it. They're putting on a classic here in Jacksonville, which is not something anybody who's played for the Jaguars in the last 5 years could say. The only thing that good came out of there was the gator ball kick to the body and an overhand right by Burns. Right now, in terms of significant strikes, 27-19 in the first round for Chimaev, 39-23 in round number 2 for Burns. This is Gilbert Burns' round unless Chimaev is going to drop Burns here in the last minute 7. Burns on his bicycle. Feigns a left hand. Feigning another left hand. Steps in, doesn't land. 55 seconds left to go. Burns looking for an opportunity to try to finish this fight. Chimaev tried to throw 2 wild strikes, doesn't land. Quick left from Burns. Overhand right doesn't land. Overhand right that time does land from Chimaev. He lands another one. He might have found a rhythm with the punches. He might have timed Burns out here with 35 seconds left to go in the round. Both men switching up their stance, leading with their right leg. Leading with the right leg is Chimaev. Leading with the left is Burns. Left hand landed by Burns. Upstairs, downstairs combination. And a body kick. Overhand left landed by, right landed by Chimaev. Another right hand from Chimaev. Burns bleeding once again from the hairline. Eats an uppercut. He's in trouble, throwing wild. Both ways. Chimaev is down. Chimaev is down. Burns almost kicked him almost illegally soccer kicked him. And Chimaev gets dropped towards the end of the round. Oh, and Mike Beltran gets clipped with a stray. Both of these guys still want to go because Burns tried to field goal kick Chimaev. We're going to have a violent final 5. Trigger D saying Chimaev better not ruin his parlay. Ostentatious Gaming saying Flaming Goat Hang 10 sign. I feel like that's a California thing. I'm not sure. But shout out to everybody saying nice things about me in the commentary. It's very, very sweet of you. Stanley Franklin saying HFS. Yes. Holy fucking shit, pal. This has been a fight. Shout out to all 936 of you joining us here in the Combat Culture chat. And there's that overhand right from Burns. Fucked his shit up on that one. Thank you to Ho Killer 254, which is a sentence I've always wanted to say in my 15 years in broadcasting. Todd Gardner made my dang night. This is great. Thanks, man. Never suffering through Jens Pulver again. Is Jens Pulver doing the UFC watch-along? If so, tell them to come here and hang out. And we begin round number 3, both men standing in the center of the octagon. I'm Matt Ryan calling all the action for you. Overhand right missed by Chimaev. Henry Vega donating $5 to the cause. Thank you so much, sweetie. 15 seconds left to go. In round number 3. Round 3 of 3 in the welterweight division. Burns on his bicycle again. Circling the octagon. Going on a tour of the octagon, eats a left hand from Chimaev. Another left hand from Chimaev. Burns looking tired here. Throwing an overhand right. Scott Gordon donating another $2. Thank you, sweetheart. Left hand landing by Chimaev. Putting the pressure on. Ooh, an uppercut landed by Chimaev. Not landing the body kick, though. 4:08 left to go in the round. Left-right combination missed hard by Burns. Chimaev mistiming an uppercut. Pressuring Burns closer and closer to the fence. Overhand right landed by Chimaev. Right hand landed by Chimaev. And a takedown attempt by Burns stifled by Chimaev. A punch right to the face. The right eye of Burns looking to swell here. Chimaev trying to fight off this single leg takedown attempt. Finding a way to do it. Bounces right back to standing upright. Still in the grapple. Still in the tie up here from Burns. He'll find a way out of it. And both men back to a vertical base and teeing off here is Chimaev. Overhand left landed, but peppering a few shots is Chimaev. He has found a rhythm here. He has found a cadence that he likes. He is throwing some heavy hands here. Knee. Burns in trouble. Burns pressed up against the fence. Burns trying to stay in this one. Gets caught and now tried to go for a knee, but got caught with that. And now the left leg is being tied up by Chimaev as Burns pressed up against the fence. You can see him bleeding and breathing hard through the mouth here with 2:53 left to go. This is the deepest Khamzat Chimaev has ever gone in a fight. I can confirm, I believe he's never gone to a scorecard as a professional fighter, especially in the UFC. And right now, Gilbert Burns bringing him down to earth, but what a showing from Khamzat Chimaev. 2:32 left to go in round number 3. Before the scorecards, we'll go to the poll. 2:25. Overhand right missed by Burns. Pressed up against the fence, Burns' blood starting to trickle down across the face of Gilbert Burns. Khamzat Chimaev continuing to put pressure. 210, hits an overhand left. Burns pressed up against the fence. Burns looking in trouble here. Overhand left-right combination in the pocket. Chimaev landing another 2 more. Chimaev with a couple of paw punches there. Overhand right, landed by Burns. Burns trying to keep the blood out of his eye. Minute 52 left to go in what could be considered a Hagler-Hearns-esque slugfest with a whole bunch of grapple fucking with a minute 45 left to go in this third fight of the evening. Overhand left, landed by Burns. Burns looking tired here. 95 seconds left to go in the round. Left-right combination, 20 significant strikes landed by Burns, 31 landed by Chimaev in this round. Oh, and another right hand. Chimaev eats a right hand, but landed 4 for 1 on that exchange. Another right hand from Chimaev, switches his stance, protects himself from a head kick, protects himself from an overhand right. Minute 12 left to go. Both men doing the end of Rocky 3, that left right into the face. No still frame on that one. They caught that one all shot, no chaser. Right hand, and Burns goes into a quick grapple to try to stifle Chimaev. Chimaev presses him off with under a minute left to go. Overhand left thrown by Burns. Left hand landed by Chimaev. Burns about to be rated on the Muda scale. Overhand right though from Burns. Burns making Chimaev try to pull some matrix moves and avoid those shots. Left hand, Burns swinging for the fences here. 36 seconds left to go. Right hand almost to the temple landed by Chimaev because Burns' head was going down. Overhand right by Burns misses magnificently with 26 seconds left to go in this fight before we go to the scorecards. Burns, knowing how much time is left, he's trying to load up for one home run shot and walk off here. Uppercut landed by Chimaev, though, right to the jaw with the right hand. Another overhand right missing. A left hand landed by Burns. 9 seconds left to go in this fight. Running knee! Push kick Burns! The momentum sent him backwards. He kicked himself onto the ground, and we will go to the scorecards here in Jacksonville, and both men will show each other some respect. Chimaev kisses him on the head as if he was his girlfriend leaving for the train, and we'll go to the scorecards. Taking a look here on the chat. Fight, kiss. Ali Kelly Gara saying this should have been a 5-rounder. TEUS saying I should replace John Anik. That's just very nice. You're just too sweet. Shout out to Soap Toaster, Benchipied. I don't know what that means, but thank you. And Zaza asking, how do I have it scored? I have it 2 rounds for Chimaev. I have the first and the third for him. I would give Burns a 10-9 round, but I wouldn't be surprised if the judges score. One judge gives it 30-27 Chimaev. I think it's 29-28 across the board. Gilbert Burns put on one hell of a fight, but I think Khamzat Chimaev gets the win here and walks out of here with the victory. Roger Darta is saying the scoring's been a little funky tonight. Yeah, well, it's Florida. Steph, in terms of scoring in Florida, you've dealt with that. Your thoughts?
I don't know. Hanging Chads come to mind. That's what we're known for from my home state.
It's your greatest export.
So we don't quite know much about counting.
But this blood pinata of a fight has to have a winner. I think Khamzat Chimaev gets the win. I think he walks out of here tonight, adding to his record being 11-0, and Gilbert Burns will drop to 20-5. But not a terrible performance from either of these fighters. First round was a little scrappy. So was the second round. Mike Beltran almost got caught in the crossfire. Shout out to all over 1,000 of you watching us across the Combat Culture Network. And we will be taking a look at the scorecards here from Bruce Buffer. All 3 judges score this one 29-28 for the winner by unanimous decision. Gilbert Burns takes the loss. Khamzat Chimaev is still undefeated. What a play what a game, what a fight. Wow, I've been calling too much football lately. What a fight from Khamzat Chimaev, and him and Gilbert Burns talking right now. Burns should not feel like a loser. He might have an L added to his record, but he is in no way a loser after tonight's fight. What a performance from Gilbert Burns, and what a performance from Khamzat Chimaev. If you're saying that the hype train for Chimaev is over, and yeah, there goes the Trigger parlay. I'm sorry about that one, Trigger. That sucks for you, man. I'm so sorry that happened. But yeah, Chimaev had a hell of a fight, and you can't compare Chimaev to Khabib. You can't compare the two. Like, they're different fighters. I think they have a lot of the same background. But Khabib is a once-in-a-generation athlete. He's a once-in-a-century athlete when it comes to this stuff. So, hopefully we'll see more of Chimaev. And you see him, he's got marks on him. He got pieced up a little bit. The parlay is still alive. What a night. What a night here. And I can't wait to see what happens next. We'll see if he faces off against Colby Covington. Maybe he gets himself an Usman shot early. Unbroken 1010 says, here comes the robbery comments all night long. I can see someone wishing Burns got the win, but that first and third for me really were Chimaev's rounds. A lot of people saying Colby would murder Chimaev. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see what happens. Two elite wrestlers. You know, Covington's wrestling is next level, but we've seen Chimaev able to take some shots and throw some shots. Covington, if he faces someone who's got the same level of wrestling or just the same ballpark of wrestling, but has a more proficient strike game, we saw it in the Usman fights. Usman was able to develop a game plan that stifled Covington's wrestling and broke his jaw. So, that's just my opinion on it. Utkar saying Usman laughing his ass off right now. Father Larsathon saying Mike Rapunzel Beltran. That's a solid one. I feel like I would watch a Rapunzel remake with Mike Beltran's beard. Like, I'd watch that. I don't know if you guys watched that, but you know what? Let's check the poll really quick. Do you expect to see famous people in a Hooters? 28% say yes, 72% say no. Be sure to vote on the poll. We'll have some more polls throughout the night here. And we'll see what happens as we get a little bit deeper into the broadcast. Gilbert Burns being interviewed right now. And he says his destiny, his goal is to be champion, to fight the toughest guys. And, well, he's doing that. And if you just joined us, Chimaev gets the unanimous decision victory over Gilbert Burns in Jacksonville. Khamzat Chimaev remaining undefeated. He is now 11-0 career. Gilbert Burns drops to 20-5 professionally. And we will go to the co-main event. Charlene, yes, Dolph Ziggler is famous. He is famous. You can add him to the fray there. The hype derailed. I don't know about that. They just showed a whole bunch of Florida on the screen. It was a dude in a hoodie with what I think were dreadlocks. It looked like three people who were cosplaying as True Romance at Comic-Con. And if you've bet on the decision for Chimaev, it was plus 380. And wow, that you won hard on that one. And just a lot of cool stuff going on. Chris Weidman in the crowd. He trained with Aljamain Sterling. Ron DeSantis' bitch ass is on my TV. Ugh. No. He's got no chin. Like, even if you like are a Republican.
No nothing.
Yeah, but the chin, like, he's prominently chinless. And TJ Dillashaw with the clean and the clear in the house tonight. Adrian Sensimia met Stephen Hawking at an airport. Nice. Let us know the most famous person you ever met in a Hooters, an airport, maybe a Barnes & Noble. And checking in on the chat, I'm the new king of the Octagon. Look, politically, whatever. The man doesn't have a chin. Ron DeSantis doesn't have a chin. Wherever you stand politically, we can all say the man. I have more of a chin than Ron DeSantis. Does that mean I should be voted Florida governor?
Yes.
No.
Oh.
I don't want to be the governor of Florida.
I know, the bar is really low though.
Yeah. That's true. Y'all voted Jeb. Jeb, exclamation point.
I didn't do shit. I was in elementary school. He fucked our schools up. I don't know anyway.
But we're all here to watch and enjoy mixed martial arts here tonight, so we're grateful that you're all joining us here. Oh, and Ellen Sorbello saying I have bigger tits. Yes, I do. I am a larger man than Ron DeSantis. I have bigger tits and a chin. So go me.
Yes, but he is a tit. Nobody uses that as an insult.
No. It should be. It's a solid one. Andrew Rye saying, I was expecting Hazmat to be wrestling heavy, but I think he chose to strike. Maybe that's because he was training with Till. He should return to his bread and butter. You know what? I see that, but I think Chimaev wants to level up. I think he wants to learn and be a more proficient striker. And Dennis Combs saying, I have 3 chins. No, I got like 1 or 2. There's like a solid second one growing here, but just the 1 for now, 1.5. Sore Dick Racing 43V. My dad was really close friends with Johnny Cash. That's a sentence. Mark Baker met Muhammad Ali at his McDonald's in Berry Springs, Michigan. Muhammad Ali owned a McDonald's. Did not know that. Shahan Rahman saying, what do you think about Khamzat's chances against Usman? I don't know. I think that Usman wins that fight, but Chimaev gives him a challenge. I think he gives him a different challenge than Colby, especially with the level of striking proficiency we saw from him tonight, at least in terms of output. But I don't see anybody really beating Kamaru Usman right now. But that's just my opinion on it. Ed Shalinsky asking, am I in Jersey City? I've been to Jersey City. I love Jersey City. John Paletta asking, Yan or Sterling? I don't know, man. I don't know if it's going to be Aljo or not. I love Aljo. He's someone I really love watching. But I don't know. This is a hard one to predict. I don't know. Tino Cadriel Jr. saying, be honest, bro, you're in your mom's garage. First of all, I grew up in Brooklyn. Garages were like sacred. I couldn't find a garage in Brooklyn if you asked me to. Also, my mother's been dead for years. If I was living in her garage, that would just be weird and sad. And I'm already weird and sad. The VIE saying Khamzat didn't want to face the BJJ. I don't know if it was about the BJJ or not, because I think he was able to stop him stride for stride in terms of the grappling, and we saw some great exchanges in that second round from Chimaev where he was able to keep that momentum going. But I think if this is a 5-round fight and it's paced a little bit differently, I think Burns finds a way to slow Chimaev down, because Chimaev was controlling and dictating the pace of that fight. Adrian Sensimia saying he sees Yan whooping that ass. Yan was whooping him before that knee. And Adrian Sensimia is saying, what part of Brooklyn? I am from Sunset Park, please and thank you. Trigger D saying Yan by way of translator. It's possible. The translator just hops in and pieces them up a little bit. And at the end, our poll is complete after 403 votes. Stephanie, the votes were 71% no, 28% yes. So 71% of our audience does not believe that you will meet a famous person or see a famous person. You do not expect to see a famous person in Hooters. Unbroken 1010 from south side of Williamsburg. Shout out Brooklyn Stand Up. But let us know in the chat how you see our co-main event to unify the UFC Bantamweight titles go down. Jose Hernandez from Gunstead Park. Goddamn right, buddy. You're probably from where I'm from, so I'm sorry and thank you. Check it in here. Thank you, Mikey, for the nice words. Eddie Woods, great job. UFC needs you calling fights. Maybe. And also, if you're in New York tomorrow and you want to meet me, if you're in Brooklyn or New York or New Jersey and you want to meet me and you want to meet Brendan, come on down to Catalyst Wrestling's Fear and Loathing in NYC. Go to catalystwrestling.com. That's catalystwrestling.com. Buy your tickets now. We have people from AEW, the NWA, Ring of Honor, and more. We have 9 great matches for you tomorrow. Tickets are just $25 at catalystwrestling.com. Come on down. Say, hey, I want to meet Matt and Brendan. We're going to buy a ticket. But if you say, hey, I'm here to meet Matt and Brendan, we will come meet you. We'll take photos with you. We'll hang out. Brendan will be ring announcing. I will be running the show. We want you to come hang out tomorrow night at 5 p.m., a 5 p.m. bell time in Bushwick. And checking in here on the instant feedback, getting invited to the Village Works tomorrow. I don't know what that is, but thank you. And right now, Petr Yan making his way to the octagon. To give you a little bit of the breakdown on Petr Yan, a master of sport in both boxing and MMA, which is like the Presidential Medal of Freedom for his native Russia, a BJJ blue belt, trains with American Top Team, a one-time UFC Bantamweight champion, the current interim Bantamweight champion, 1 performance of the night bonus against Uriah Faber, 2 fight of the night bonuses against Chin Soo Sung and Corey Sandhagen, and a performance of the night bonus, as I said before, against Uriah Faber. Has knocked out 7, 1 submission win, 8 by decision. He's been decisioned once and disqualified once. Last time we saw him was a unanimous decision victory at UFC 257 to beat Corey Sandhagen for the interim bantamweight title. An illegal knee DQ loss to Sterling, the one that we talked about multiple times throughout the night, ended a 10-fight winning streak that dates back to 2016. He won his initial bantamweight title against Jose Aldo at UFC 250. He is getting the check down and the wipe down now from Mike Beltran. And he's got the most knockdowns in UFC bantamweight history with 10. The most wins since 2018 in the bantamweight division with 8. We'll check in here on the instant feedback. Yan is the better fighter. The longer it goes, the more chances he have. Fo Sushi picking Yan. Scott Herfurth saying, I smell like old McDonald's and furry convention halls. I've never been to a furry convention, and it does smell like fast food in here because we ordered Checkers.
I know. A furry convention would smell like wet fur, and that's all I'm going to elaborate on.
Yeah. And we are waiting. Aljamain Sterling making his way inside the octagon. And Unbroken, I do. And they just had a show recently. Support New York Pro Wrestling. That's all I'm going to say is support New York Pro Wrestling. Support pro wrestling if you love pro wrestling. Support any and all things that you're passionate about that help other people. Be cool to other people. That's pretty much my rule. And we try to be cool with y'all as long as y'all are cool with us. We appreciate every single one of you, including the people who want me to go fuck my mother. You know, we appreciate y'all too. And taking a look here. And David Long, shout out to your out-of-picture partner. Yeah, shout out to Steph. Shout out to Gavin Bradley. And Trigger D saying support Hooters. Yes, the Midtown New York Hooters got shut down. That made me sad. That was a victim of COVID. But Aljamain Sterling making his walk to the octagon. In our co-main event of the evening, a 5-rounder to unify the UFC Bantamweight Championship. In our co-main event, let us know who you think's going to walk out of here. Drew Metz just subscribed. Shout out to you. Bill Elder saying he hopes to have Sterling finish him. Mike Styles asking, how does that other dude know what a furry convention smells like is the real question. And you know what? You know what, Mike? You're asking the real questions here. You're asking the hard-hitting questions that need to be answered. But Sterling now a part of the Sarah Longo fight team, based out of Long Island from Uniondale, New York, the home of the Nassau Coliseum and the home of Hofstra University. I know, but I've got an AP award from them, so I gotta say nice-ish things about them. Trigger D saying Yan by third round stoppage. Aljamain is broken. That's a harsh one. Rob Claypool, ever had White Castle? Yes, I'm an American from the northeastern United States. Of course I've had White Castle. Sultan of Moulton, 2012, saying Cactus Jack is back. Bang, bang, motherfucker. Checking in on Aljamain Sterling, second most wins in Bantamweight history with 11. Third largest strike differential in UFC Bantamweight history, plus 2.57 per minute. Shout out to everybody watching across the Combat Culture Network. We are getting ready for our co-main event here tonight. We have been leaning and rocking with you all evening long, ever since the start of the main card. And thank you so much. If you're just wanting to get caught up and if you want to see the results, we have them in the Combat Culture YouTube channel description. If you're not joining us on Combat Culture, head on over to MMAmania.com or BloodyElbow.com. And also MMA Mania on Twitter. The gang over there, making sure you're kept up. While I'm yelling, they're typing. Mel's cough drop going for Yan. Shout out to Stephen J. Deno yells. First time listening, I'm on point. Thank you. You guys are on point. You guys are awesome. Bill Elder, does Dillashaw beat any of these two? I don't think he beats Yan. Yan's a pit bull in human form. Aljo, it's, back and forth. Checking in on the tail of the tape for this fight. Sterling 32, Yan 29. Yan with a half an inch height advantage, 5'7.5" to 5'7" of Sterling. Sterling in at 134.5 pounds, Yan at 134 pounds. And then the reach is Sterling's advantage, 71 to 67, as we get ready for our co-main event. Darren Wallace saying on Facebook, this is the greatest thing I've ever listened to. Can't believe this is the first time I'm listening to this. If this is the first time you're ever listening to this and you're enjoying yourself, the simplest thing you can do is head on over and hit the like button, hit the comment button, hit the subscribe button. Eileen Rodriguez, Chris, I missed it, and Sal D'Amato, the judges for this fight. Keith Peterson will be the referee for our co-main event. And be sure, if you have not yet, if you want to watch along with us, it's not too late. Click the link in the description, and also we'll be dropping it in a few more times tonight, a way for you to have a free bet if you have not signed up to DraftKings yet. Our friends at DraftKings are looking to help you out, looking to hook you up. So, let them know Matt and MMA Mania and Combat Culture sent you. Click the link and have a little fun with us. Alan Poole, you are frigging hilarious. Oh, you guys are awesome. I love this. This is my favorite time of the month. John Knight from Indianapolis, Indiana, the home of Pat McAfee. We're definitely for the brand program here. Champ by default. Well, both of them are technically champions. So that makes it a little bit harder, Richie. Just a little bit harder. But we appreciate it. And Aljo getting... he's a plus 320 underdog. The defending champion is a plus 320 underdog. Shout out to Tom Clausen, Northern Wisconsin, joining us here tonight. Hopefully it is nice weather up by y'all as baseball season begins across the United States. Let's go Mets. David Long saying I broke his cherry. Well, we're glad that this was your first time because it's been a fun time here tonight. John Bruce asking what's the forearm tattoo. It is a Hunter S. Thompson tattoo. It is a two-thumbed fist holding a peyote button. And we are getting ready here. The official introductions have been done. Both men will walk to the center of the octagon, stare each other down. Keith Peterson giving them the lay of the land for our co-main event. And Bruce Buffer wearing a jacket that looks like the Masters if it were a pimp coat. And it looks like something Silky Johnson would wear to the Masters, and it makes me very happy. Aljamain Sterling, Petr Yan, getting things locked and loaded in our main event. Here we go. Body kick immediately by Aljo. Sterling setting the pace off. Another body kick by Sterling. That one doesn't land, but trying to start and take the momentum here is the defending champion, the lineal champion Sterling, against the interim champion Yan. Yan keeping that left hand up, that right hand near the face. 4:38 left to go in a 5-round fight for the bantamweight title. Kick to the leg this time by Aljo. To go. Circling around here are both fighters. Sterling started off hot, but has fizzled here. Going for the takedown, stuffed immediately by Yan. Yan gets up, tries to throw an overhand left, doesn't land. Body kick missed by Yan. 4:07 left to go in the first round. Circling the center of the octagon, leg kick missed by Sterling. Sterling trying to put in some pressure, but his back is getting closer and closer to the fence as Yan just circling and pressuring more and more here with 3:48. A head kick missed by Aljo. 3:45 kick to the body missed by Sterling. Yan putting the pressure on. Kick to the body landed by Sterling. 3:31 left to go. Right hand landed by Aljamain Sterling. Sterling eats a right hand and bounces off of that one. Yan landing shots here. Also, Petr Yan looking like the lost Wahlberg brother. Looks like if Donnie and Mark had some sort of weird fly incident. 3:16, what left to go in the round? A couple of right hands from Sterling trying to tap him out, but throwing a right hand, and Yan with an overhand left from hell does not land. Knee landed by Sterling and tried to go for a kick, but caught Yan with his knee. 3 minutes exactly left to go in round one. Right hand missed. Putting the pressure on is Petr Yan. Aljamain Sterling back towards the fence. In a bit of trouble here. 2:46 left to go. Circling here. Trying to K-turn his way out of the situation and get himself on the opposite side. Yan with a left hand, and a left kick. Landing both. 2:31 left to go in round number one. We're halfway through the first round. Sterling with a body kick. Trying to feign, trying to make something happen with the punches. 2:22 now left to go. Shout out to the two Coreys. Circling around here is Sterling. 2:15 left to go. Trying to feign that right hand is Sterling. Both fighters missing on overhand punch attempts. Neither landing, and we're back to where we were with 2 minutes left to go. Trying to shoot the takedown. Left punch, left kick combination by Yan. Right-left combination by Yan. Minute 50 left to go in the round. Circling around, Petr Yan controlling this fight. Minute 45 left to go. Ooh, both of them checking leg kicks on each other, almost snapping their shins as they continue to circle around here. Left hand, Yan chasing in, missing with an overhand left is Petr Yan. Yan stepping in, eating a right-left combination from Aljamain Sterling. Minute 27 left to go. Overhand right missed by Sterling, landed but deflected by Sterling. Right hand, and a overhand left landed by Petr Yan. Kick to the body landed this time by Aljamain Sterling. Minute 11, leg kick pulled by Sterling. Continuing to get pressed closer and closer to the defense as the defending lineal champion. 1 minute remaining in the first round. Keith Peterson, the referee. Petr Yan winning this fight in terms of momentum and control. Don't know that much about the stats just yet, but under a minute left to go, and Yan has been dictating the pace of this round, even though Sterling's been poking holes in the former champion's defense. Sterling being kept on his back foot, lands an elbow, but it's blocked by Yan. Yan covering his head real hard, overhead head kick missed by Yan, landed it and kind of shuffled, landed a little awkwardly, landed on his heel. 23 seconds left to go. Throws a right hand as Aljamain Sterling. 19 seconds left to go in round number one. Continuing to circle and pace here. It looks like he's trying to avoid getting hit with a dodgeball is Aljamain Sterling. Trying to piece up Yan at the end of the round. Trying to shoot for a takedown. Maybe steal some points. And both of these fighters will see round two. Well, right now it being a 10-9 round in favor of Petr Yan. Taking a look here in Unbroken 1010. Email Catalyst Wrestling catalystwrestle@gmail.com. catalystwrestle@gmail.com. And Matt is the commenter. Yes, I am the commentator. Samson McDonald, plus 320. I'm not sure about it. Yan can more than cook. He's the executive chef. He is putting on a buffet level of quality here. David Long joining us in Toronto. And a shout out to all of you watching us across the Combat Culture Network. I'm Matt Ryan calling the action, usually joined alongside Brendan Sokler, who's not here with us this week, but will be joining us at UFC 274. Zaza asking your initial reaction. 10-9 round for Yan. 10-9 round. Aljo did some stuff to keep this fight going, but for me, it's all about how Petr Yan's been treating this fight and the pace he's been able to dictate. It's been a solid fight so far from Petr Yan. He's kept outside of the early part of this fight where Aljo set the pace and we begin round number 2. Leg kick landed by Aljamain Sterling. Circling around here, once again, Sterling's back pressed towards the fence. Right hand to the body. Sterling trying to turn the pressure around here. Trying to find an opportunity either way is Aljamain Sterling with 4:27 left to go in round number 2. Kick to the body, landed by Yan to Sterling. Our co-main event for the UFC Bantamweight Championship. Petr Yan looking to get back the belt he lost via disqualification. One of the reasons why professional wrestling is a superior sport, but that's a conversation for another day. Leg kick missed by Sterling. Yan looking to put pressure. Sterling looking to go for the takedown. Stymied by Yan, and Yan will punch his way out of that takedown attempt. And another shooting for that single leg, spinning out of it is Yan. Yan is down, and Aljo putting the pressure on. Trying to take the back is Aljamain Sterling, and Yan in trouble here. Aljo gets the back. Aljamain Sterling, and Yan pivots out of it, but Aljo wrapping the legs around Petr Yan. Yan in trouble here. Yan being being baby Bjorn by Aljamain Sterling, who is putting a figure 4 around the waist of Petr Yan. A punch to the back, a back punch by Yan to the face of Aljamain Sterling. Both men in a seated position now. The legs still grapevined around Petr Yan. The left leg caught in like a figure 4. And now Aljamain Sterling trying to go for the submission. Trying to pull a choke here. Could be trying to go for an RNC. Oh, trying to slip one of the arms under. Sterling landing some left hands. Now punching Sterling in the back of in the face. Laying on top of him. 2:38 left to go. Sitting back up. Making Yan work here is Aljamain Sterling. Both men on their sides here, but still that grapevine around the waist of Petr Yan. Yan trying to avoid getting choked out here. 2:22 left to go in round number 2 in a 5-round fight for the UFC Bantamweight title. Looking to drive through here. Yan still trying to use that free left hand, the hand that's not trying to stop Sterling from pulling off that RNC, trying to sink underneath the chin. And Sterling punching with that left hand. Now in a fetal position for both fighters, looking like the John and Yoko cover of Rolling Stone, or the Double Fantasy, the Double Fantasy album cover. And Sterling teeing off on Yan, has his back, and still holding on to the back, and he pulls the choke. Aljamain Sterling trying to pull the choke. He's got it. He's trying to lock it in. Aljamain Sterling has the arm underneath the chin, but can't pull the arm up, can't lock it in, and now Sterling teeing off on Petr Yan. This fight has turned on a dime, and now Yan in trouble. Petr Yan in a world of trouble. 1:12 left to go in the round. And now, 2 minutes and 32 seconds of control time later, Aljamain Sterling has turned this fight around and now is teeing off on Petr Yan while still trying to get the submission. 55 seconds now left to go in the round. Trying to stay and maintain that position is Aljamain Sterling, who is landing with quote-unquote impunity, available now in the merch store. And Sterling trying to lock in that submission. Still holding on to that grapevine with 37 seconds left to go in the round. Cannot find a way to sink that arm underneath the jaw of Petr Yan and try to set this submission. And Yan throwing some punches to the face of Sterling, who's still controlling him with 22 seconds left to go in the second round. Yan in trouble, has now at the point where it's almost been 3 minutes of ground control time from Aljamain Sterling. If this is the fight, Petr Yan is in a world of trouble. He has not been able, and now another attempt from Aljamain Sterling, not able to pull it, but the second round will end way differently than the first one. Yan pissed off, taking a long walk to his corner, and Aljamain Sterling taking up the adulation of this crowd in Jacksonville. Heat Rider saying, please just illegal knee him again. Shout out to Clark Robinson, our new subscriber, enjoying the commentary. And we are getting ready for round number 3. Sean Jones saying, eat it, Dana White. And I let everybody know what's going on. Zaza saying 30-28. Well, right now it's 18-18. 19-19. It's 10-9 round, 10-9 round. Bill Elder, I don't have the sound, so I don't know. If somebody else is watching, if you can let us know what's going on the ground there. And it will be the third round coming up right now. And Sterling throws a shot, trying to make something happen here. Knee to the face. Sterling finding a way to slip, slide, and move. Dip, dodge, and dive. And in there right now, 4:40 left to go in round number 3. Leg kick by Yan. Circling around, and Yan with a left-left combination not landing. 4:30 left to go. Kick to the body, another kick to the body. Savate kick by Yan. Another takedown attempt by Aljamain Sterling, stifled by Yan, but still in the grapple. Finding a way out of it, though. Yan trying to throw a hammer fist while standing. Sterling moving the hell out of the way. And now Yan trying to go for a takedown. Yan throwing some heavy shots. Aljamain Sterling pressed up against the fence, driving the jaw in now with 4 minutes left to go in the round. 3:55 left to go. Left hand by Sterling. Kick to the body by Sterling. Right elbow landed by Sterling. Overhand left misses. Now trying to shoot the takedown. And now trying to pull it. Gets the takedown. And Sterling once again going for the back. Aljamain Sterling backpacking Petr Yan. Now back to where we were just about 3 minutes ago. And an elbow for his troubles by Aljamain Sterling, the Petr Yan. Once again, grapevining the body. Just trying to set up that rear naked choke. Just trying to pull that choke. And Petr Yan came into this fight the clear favorite, but the tide has certainly turned here for Aljamain Sterling. The man from Uniondale, New York, will not be denied his chance to prove he belongs, and he deserves to be the UFC Bantamweight champion. 2:56 left to go in the third round. And this one could be over. Yan in trouble. Yan trying to fight out of it. Knee to the elbow to the thigh of Aljamain Sterling. Throws a punch. Yan trying to keep that chin pressed up against his chest. And Sterling doing everything he can to rumble Yan around long enough just to cinch in that choke. And now just laying on him, staying on him. Eat, pray, loving him, smothering and covering him like a night at the Waffle House with 2:20 left to go. And both men now back in the double fantasy position. As Yan trying to fight out of this and stay alive. and keep his chances to be once again the undisputed Bantamweight champion of the Ultimate Fighting Championship. 2 minutes left to go in round number 3. First round clearly went to Petr Yan, but at some point in the second round, Aljamain Sterling turned on the love light, and he has grappled his way to a dominant couple of minutes here. About almost 2 full rounds of him smothering and stifling Petr Yan. 92 seconds left to go, and Aljo still in that position, still trying to pull the RNC, still has the back of Petr Yan, both men lying down on their right side, trying to splay out his Yan, trying to break that grapevine, splaying out his legs, and now trying to press off, and now still has the back, does Aljamain Sterling. They transition, Yan's face in the mat, in a variation of the Luther Campbell. Now trying to roll through again, still maintaining that backpack position, is Aljamain Sterling. Under a minute left to go now, still in that reverse waist lock with the leg grapevine. Just driving and squeezing over 6.5 minutes now for Aljamain Sterling in terms of ground control time. Now pressing over, and a right hand from Aljamain Sterling. Trying to make something happen with 34 seconds left to go in the third period. Pressed on his back, trying to pull the submission, is Aljamain Sterling. 20 seconds left to go in the round. Trying to roll through, trying to stand right back up. 13 seconds left to go in the round. Yan looking to stay alive here. 6 seconds left to go in the round. And we will go to the championship rounds in Jacksonville. What a round from Aljamain Sterling. Taking a look at the chat here. Viejo Tastic saying Yan is done, man. Default started loving my calling it the Luther Campbell position. Kaivel saying Yan needs to keep it standing. Well, yes. Yes, he does. Shout out to Stanley Franklin. Credit Travel Guy saying Yan fought with emotions tonight, not heart. Trying to look here, see what else is going on. Michael Madera from the Philippines rooting for Aljamain Sterling. Let us know how you're scoring this one in the chat. Shout out to all over 700 of you joining us right here for the co-main event. And we will begin the fourth round here in Jacksonville. And Yan coming out like a man on fire, throwing an amazing amount of shots and getting Sterling grounded. Sterling now in the variation of the Luther Campbell himself. Yan's got his back. In just a brief moment, once again, for the third time, this fight is turned on a dime, and Petr Yan getting it back to a standing position. Having to stop as soon as they got to the ground, knowing that he would have found himself fighting a fool's errand with 4:24 left to go in the round. And now Sterling, knees down, almost getting bulldog choked by Yan. Yan trying to pull the submission. The current champion being controlled by the interim champion after 2 rounds of Aljamain Sterling dictating this fight and controlling it from the ground. Sterling trying to find a way to pull him back down, and Yan going for the back. Petr Yan, knee to the thighs. .341 left to go in the round. And trying to pull the guillotine. The eat, pray, love is when you try to just basically smother and cover another human being, and a flying knee by Yan not landing. Kick to the body by Aljamain Sterling. Right hand by Aljamain Sterling. Pulling that leg. Turning around. Trying to get... Oh, knee to the body. And Yan's checking his cup. No dick punches tonight. No shots to the junk. So we've been successful with that. Sterling turns it around. Reverse waistlock. And we're back to where we started. Looks like we've made it. Under 3 minutes left to go. And Sterling once again backpacking him. But Yan finding a way through it. And now a triangle attempt. A triangle attempt from Aljamain Sterling. But Yan finds a way out of it. Now trying to go into the mount position. Or the Rhea Ripley pin. Or the position mommies and daddies do. As Yan controlling the pace once again. Punch to the bodies by Yan. Let us know what you're thinking in the chat. Rectus 4K saying I look like Mick Foley. Well, I am an Irish guy from New York. Those kind of, Venn diagram, very small on that one. And once again, Yan looking to find a way to break Aljamain Sterling with 2 minutes left to go. Petr Yan looking like a Mormon because he has got Aljamain Sterling locked up in a missionary. Sterling needs to pop his feet off the hips of Petr Yan with 1:39 left to go. And now grabbing the arm is Sterling. Sterling in a position we're not used to seeing him in after the last few minutes of him dominating Petr Yan and trying to set up for an RNC. A rear naked choke for those who are just joining us. 1:21 left to go in the fourth round. Trying to turn over is Aljamain Sterling being pressed down by Petr Yan. Trying to climb up. Petr Yan was Aljamain Sterling, and Sterling gives up the back again after rolling, trying to stand up to a vertical base in the almost in the Luther Campbell. Yan stepping on Aljamain Sterling's ankle, kneeing him in the ribs, and now trying to go take the back again. Under a minute left to go in the fourth round. Trying to roll through, and Reactor 4, I know, I'm just making a joke because I do the ha-has here. I get paid to be funny. Not correct. Wait, no, flip that around. Never mind. 41 seconds left to go. Yan inside, trying to get into side control. Sterling doing everything he can. And is driving the elbow into the temple of Aljamain Sterling. 27 seconds left to go in our co-main event as we get closer and closer to the top of the hour here. In terms of ground control, 0-0 in the first, 350-0 in the second for Sterling, 343-27 in the third, and the fourth I missed. 5 seconds left to go here, and this one right now, in my opinion, tied up 2-2, 2 rounds apiece. We're going to go to the fifth round and figure out what's actually happening. And a shout out to Brendan Sokler watching along at home. Go to bed, dude. Yan via Brendan's prediction. Yan via RNC 2 minutes into the fifth. And John Paleta asking, why are we ahead 20 seconds? Well, there's latency. So we're watching the pay-per-view in real time. So whatever you're watching, we're getting the pay-per-view at the same time, but you're getting me 20 seconds later because the internet doesn't want us to watch things at the same time. Or latency, speeds, all of that stuff. Shout out to Steven Gukic. LOL, this has been the most entertaining. This has been entertaining hearing your takes on these positions. Of course, I know what the positions are, but for people that are watching along for the first time or people who just want to have fun, I'm going to have fun with it. The Judo Basis, which is an awesome YouTube name, by the way, is it 2-2 or 3-1? Right now, it's 2-2. Round 2 and 3 went to Aljo. Round 1 could have been Aljo up until Yan decided to take control, and a leg kick, a sweep kick by Yan, takes Sterling onto his tuchus. Sterling gets right back up, a body kick landed by Sterling. Kick to the thigh by Petr Yan. Left, overhand left, missing with that overhand left. Live odds right now, according to DraftKings, minus 115 for both fighters. Aljamain Sterling trying to go for the takedown. If you want to use that free bet, use it right now. Link in description below. 4:27 left to go in the round. John Paletta saying 10-8 all rounds. I'm saying 10-9 for rounds 1 and rounds 4. Those could be the indicators right there. Round 2 and 3 could be 10-8 rounds, but I don't know if it's a 10-8 round in round 1 and round 4. Both men back to a vertical base after Yan tried to make something happen on the takedown. Left-right combinations by Yan. Both men standing in the center of the octagon with 4:01 left to go in the round. Right hands by Aljamain Sterling, followed by a left-right combination by Petr Yan. 3:54 left to go. Yan trying to go for the takedown, or stifle a takedown from Sterling, pardon me. 3:49 left to go. Overhand left not landed by Sterling. Aljamain Sterling trying to go for the takedown. Has the back, might try to backpack him again. Trying to go for the trip takedown. Set his leg through and tried to press off of the left thigh. 3:35 left to go. And now Yan closer and closer to the Luther Campbell position, being dragged into deep water by Aljamain Sterling. Trying to isolate the legs here, and a knee to the thigh in the Luther Campbell. Trying to peel him down. And now Sterling still working. Yan spins, hits the B button. Spins out if it were Madden 04, pulling a Mike Allstott and stays standing, and Sterling once again trying to get it back to the ground. Yan with a combination right hand by Aljamain Sterling. Left-right combination by Sterling, trying to once again go for the takedown. Stopped by Petr Yan. 2:49 left to go. Both men standing in the center of the octagon. Going for a takedown again and stifled. And now Yan, knowing better, needs to get to standing. Both men back to a standing vertical base. Missing with a right hand is Petr Yan. 2:28 left to go. Trying to go for a takedown. Yan almost went body, yaddy, 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 yaddy on finding a way to massage himself out of that. 2:20 left to go. 2:15 now. 2:12. And now Yan standing, throwing some hands. Both on a jumping knee by Yan, but Sterling will eat it like a breakfast sandwich. Bacon, egg, and cheese, extra pepper on that one, and a single leg stifled. And Yan almost illegal kneed him again, but remembered, oh, that lost me the belt last time. I ain't fucking doing that. Minute 47 left to go in the 5th and final round. Trying to take the back of Aljamain Sterling is Petr Yan. Trying to win this one. Trying to win back the title. He lost. He lost it. Aljamain Sterling, you can argue, didn't win it, but Sterling doing everything here to maintain a status as a champion. This is a championship quality fight from both fighters. Aljamain Sterling in this last minute 20 will have to do something to take this round. And now Sterling trying to go for the takedown, cannot, stifled again by Petr Yan. Yan trying to go for the submission, and Sterling with the wrestling skills, utilizing his D3 NCAA background. Minute 4 left to go, but Yan taking the back again. 1 minute remaining in the 5th round. This one to decide the UFC Bantamweight champion. We got one more fight for you for the UFC Featherweight title, and we're going to figure out if Alexander Volkanovski can stay at the top of this division. 45 seconds left to go now. Yan taking the back of Aljamain Sterling. 38 seconds left to go. Rolling through is Aljamain Sterling. Sterling still, Yan having his back. 30 seconds left to go. Sterling trying to roll out of this one. Trying to keep the vertical base, trying to keep the base here is Petr Yan. Knee to the midsection by Petr Yan. Yan now standing in a good morning position was Aljamain Sterling. Almost doing a downward facing dog, and now the legs intertwine. 8 seconds left to go. In round number 5, Sterling will stand up and try to flat back real quick, stifles his way out of it, and for the 4th time tonight, we'll go to the scorecards on the main card here in Jacksonville. We'll take a look here in the chat. Trigger D saying 10-7 Yan, maybe 10-5. Trigger D saying, I guess I'll just die. That was his parlay saying that. And Adrian's, you're right. I'm supposed to say bacon, egg, and cheese. Just all one word. Sean Jones, breathe, my man. You did good. And Ghost 11C2X saying, trilogy. Yeah, I'd like to see a third of this. If they can do this one more time, I would like to see it. Can I see it though? Can I see it though? God bless this California red coffee. I'll tell you that right now. Swodum Doc saying, damn, I slept on Sterling, my bad. Yeah, that shouldn't happen. Unbroken 1010. Jorge Mendoza, dude, you need some money from an MMA promotion. Let me know. You know, tag an MMA promotion and tag me too. Why not? John Bruce saying, is it a draw? I don't know. Let's take a look at the fight statistics. 43 significant strikes for Sterling, 51 for Yan. 2 takedowns landed for Sterling of 22. Sterling was 22 of 22 on takedowns, even if you failed math like me. Not great. But Yan landed no takedowns, attempted none. And in the terms of ground control time, 7:55 for Sterling, 5:25 for Yan. And Sterling has had the belt since 2021. I think the summer of 2021, if I recall correctly. And we will go to the scorecards here. And it could go either way. And here we go. 48-47 Sterling. 48-47 Yan. And the winner, 48-47 for the winner and by split decision. And now the undisputed UFC Bantamweight champion Aljamain Sterling has proven himself to be worthy to be known as the undisputed champion of the Ultimate Fighting Championship's Bantamweight division, winning a close and uncomfortable split decision. Petr Yan shocked and frustrated, but Aljamain Sterling feeling the weight of the world taken off of his shoulders, but we gotta run that one back. Dana White, Sean Shelby, Mick Maynard, you don't know who I am, and you don't care that I exist. But make the third fight happen. Kyle saying that was extremely close. It certainly was. Sean Jones saying UFC Facebook groups are going to crash. Split decision judges are nuts. Welp, if you bet on the parlay, Baba Booey to you all. Timothy Blake saying, wonder what happened if Yan had his people there to coach him. This gives the argument for a trilogy fight. And Rowan, got to give him props. You do. You have to give everybody here props for the effort, an amazing fight, an amazing co-main event. And we got one more fight, by the way. We have one more fight tonight, and it's the Korean Zombie. We've got the Zombie in the main event of a pay-per-view where every fight has gone to the main card. So set your bets, because this one ain't... I don't know if that one's going to go to the distance, gang. Let us know in the chat if you think that one's going to be going the distance, going for speed. Hopefully you're not left alone in your time of need. I'm Matt Ryan, and I'm so grateful to be joining you here on Combat Culture and bringing you all the action of UFC 273. A big night for Aljamain Sterling. Long Island, New York, stand up. The first person to win a championship on Long Island since the Islanders about 40 years ago. And TJ Dillashaw wanting to smoke, dressed like someone who sells weed on a college campus. And Swodem Doc saying Alexander the Great all on this one. It's a toss-up for me. Taking a look here in the chat. Shout out to everybody. Heat Rider, Baba Booey. A Baba Booey to you, sir. Stephen Kelleher saying Zombie submitted early. That's an interesting one. And Petr Yan being interviewed right now. by Joe Rogan. Creek finds everyone thumbs up this guy. Yeah, hit the like button. Hit the thing. Do the thing with the thumb. Be cool. Be fun. Be sweet. Do the thing. Shade King, what the fuck is wrong with you? That's rude. A lot of weird stuff can happen in this main event. We don't know what's going to happen, but all I know is that we're going to be here. John Bruce saying, yeah, is it good, though? Is it, John? Is it? Like, I have a feeling it's dirt. But once again, the official decision by split decision, Aljamain Sterling remains the UFC undisputed bantamweight champion. Let's run that one back. J.R. Templeton, which just sounds like a guy who played for the Twins in the 80s. Round 2 and round 3, Aljo. Round 4 and round 5, Yan. It all comes down to who you had winning round 1. He gave it to Yan. I did too, but I can see Sterling winning this fight. If you want to know more on the background of these fights and more, head on over to MMAmania.com and BloodyElbow.com to learn how you can learn more about MMA. A lot of cool stuff there. And also be sure to follow me on Twitter at MRyanConsulting. That's the letter M, the name Ryan, the word consulting. And also, you could follow our producer and the person making sure all the information is up to date, Stephanie Sotilli, in the chat at Steph Sotilli. And if you love my dog, and who doesn't love my dog, you could follow Olive on Instagram at Olive the Fat Baby. Shout out to Kevin Sandoval donating $1.99 to the cause. Great job flying solo, bud. Keep up the work. Keep up watching. Keep hanging out. Top Shelf, that's where Skunk originated. Good to know, John. Good to know. Nairo Nut joining us. Welcome back, Nairo. Good to see you, buddy. How many times was Kazmat touched tonight? He was punched a lot. He got hit in the face quite a few times. But it was a close and contentious fight all the way until the end. Instead of Joe Rogan, John Anik, and Paul Felder, you get me, an amalgamation of all three in terms of weight, size, and redheadedness. I'm Matt Ryan, and please like, comment, subscribe, donate to the super chat. Be cool, be a sweetie. If you donate to the super chat, you are a sweetie. We also have merch available in the we'll drop that in the comments, and we'll drop that in the chat below. Trigger D Burns dropped him, but Till revived him. Yes, Chimaev did like the ghost power magic. Pulled the Demi Moore at the end of Ghost. We saw him, and then he fixed it. Erectus 4K saying he's donating plasma to make one last big bet. Arden Palmisa, yeah, Yan had a case to win this fight. He certainly had a case to win the fight. Break of the game, when it's left to the judges, you leave everything up to chance. That is the problem. There's no perfect system when scoring fights because it comes down to human error. No matter how many ways you look at it, boxing has had the same problem for over a century. As we evolve and open scoring becomes a thing in MMA, we might see massive changes. But the more faith you have in finishing a fight, that's how you control how this fight ends. That's how you control victory. Unless you completely mollywop someone over the course of 15 or 25 minutes, you are not putting yourself, if you get deeper and deeper into a title fight and you're coming in as a quote-unquote challenger and you give that guy enough time to breathe, you're fucked. We'll take a look here at the chat. Piotr got robbed again. I don't know about that. C2G saying Piotr got robbed. John Bruce saying Gordon Ryan's brother. I don't know. I have no brother. Checking in on the props to watch. Alexander Volkanovski, a -140 favorite. A +110 underdog for Korean Zombie. J.R. Templeton, the champion's advantage. You're not wrong. That it was the champion's advantage coming out tonight. Mula's is saying, oh, and tint the glasses. My glasses, I can't tint them because then I can't see. And then if I can't see, if it makes it harder for me to see, because everything on the other side of me has no light, so I can't really see all that well. I'm just calling on my TV. So if you want me to call the action, you don't want tints in these glasses. Trigger Deem is saying it best. You got to beat the champ. Not only is that one of the best albums by the Mountain Goats ever, and if you haven't heard that album, what are you doing with your life? Go, and not now. You keep listening to me. You don't fucking leave. You can't leave until the fights are over. But after this, go download Beat the Champ and let John Danielle know that I love him. And Trigger D says he's picking Korean Zombie to beat Volkanovski, and I just want to see what happens. I just want the violence. I just want the violence. Send me the violence. For those just joining us across the Combat Culture Network, I'm Matt Ryan, joined on the other side of the metaphorical glass by Stephanie Sotilli and all of the fat baby. And we are bringing you UFC 273. Brendan Sokler usually sits like right here, sitting right next to me, but he had a work emergency, so he was not able to join us this show, but he'll be back on May 7th for UFC 274. That one will be taking place from the Footprint Arena, but we'll be here in the Fallout Shelter in the studio, coming to you for that one live on Combat Culture. Stanley Franklin saying, let the hair down for the main event. All right, if you guys want me to take my hair down, if you guys want my hair down for the main event, I'll take my hair down. I am shameless. I will do that to be liked. But let us know in the chat if you want the hair down for the main event, mainly because it would feel good to just have my hair down for a while. J.R. Templeton making a really good point. Give it another year or so and set up Aljamain 3. It'll draw viewers. Not wrong. Not wrong at all. Pito Caraballo on Facebook saying, I've got Volkanovski 50-45 by unanimous decision. Not a bad one. Not a bad one. Ellen, Adam, Foe, Uncle Drew too. I think you're saying it too. All right, I'm gonna do what Emperor Zeppo just said. Toker88 too. Ellen saying drop it like it's hot. Well, I can't drop. I can drop it like it's lukewarm. I could drop it like it's lukewarm. But here we. Thank you, Jonathan Aguirre, for watching. Much appreciated for you watching, let alone, listening to me for 3 hours. There we go. Feel like I should get a super chat donation for that. But have they booked Cruz Aldo yet? I don't think they have. I don't think that fight's officially been made just yet. But hopefully you can find out at MMAmania.com. Pavement was a great band. You forget? Not forget that Pavement was a great band. I just love the Mountain Goats. But let's fill you in if this is the first time you're seeing the Korean Zombie. Brendan had a work emergency, Heat Rider. That's why he's not with us here tonight. But he'll be back for UFC 274. The Korean Zombie, a third Dan black belt in Hapkido, a second Dan black belt in Taekwondo, a black belt in Judo and in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, trains at the Fight Ready Fight Camp, has been fighting as a pro since 2007. 2 submission of the night victories, 1 knockout of the night over Mark Hominick, 2 fight of the nights against Dustin Poirier and Yair Rodriguez, performance of the night bonuses 3 times against Dennis Bermudez, Renato Moicano, and Frankie Edgar. He is tied for the second most fight night bonuses in UFC Featherweight division history, tied with Yair Rodriguez. First fighter in history in the UFC to win with a twister. He's knocked out 6, submitted 8, and decision 3. He's been knocked out in decision 3 times. He's 4-3 in his last 7. The last time we saw him inside the octagon was in June of last year when he got a unanimous decision over Dan Ige. Losses in his career to Brian Ortega, Yair Rodriguez, Jose Aldo, George Roop, Leonard Garcia, and Mansouri Kanahara. But in his career, wins over Dan Ige, Frankie Edgar, as I said, Moicano, Dennis Bermudez, Dustin Poirier as well since joining the UFC. This is a barn burner waiting to happen. So excited to be calling this fight for you guys. So excited to be bringing this to you guys. And this is the stuff we write home about. This is the stuff we love. This is what MMA is all about here on Combat Culture, bringing you that good shit live and uncut right here across YouTube. Be sure to like, comment, follow, subscribe, and let us know where you're watching from. According to Templeton, J.R. Templeton, Chimaev and Covington is coming per Dana on Pat McAfee. If Chimaev won tonight, shout out to Pat McAfee for the brand. And Banana Bread, they're playing Zombie by the Cranberries as he walks out. As an Irish person, it makes me happy and sad for all the reasons why that song is just so good. It's so fucking depressing. Boy. I'd sing the song, but then we'd get copyright striked and I'd get in trouble. But just know I'm singing it in my head. The Zombie tied for the third most finishes in featherweight history, third most performance awards in featherweight history, fourth highest takedown defense among active UFC featherweights with 76.3%. In a stacked 145-pound division, the Korean Zombie has been a constant for this organization, for the UFC. And now, in his first pay-per-view main event, his first true opportunity at a title, first time in 3,171 days, the most in UFC history, Korean Zombie gets another shot at the title. That's longer than Dan Henderson had to wait, Glover Teixeira, Demian Maia, and Jeremy Horn. Over 3,000 days later, the Korean Zombie gets another shot at a UFC title, and it's coming up right on the other side of Alexander Volkanovski's entrance here in Jacksonville. Just resting my voice, guys. I apologize. I've been riding it hard for a few hours now. And let us know your predictions in the chat. Let us know what you think's going to happen in our main event here tonight. Yeah, it's in my head. It's in my head. And every time I sing it too, every time I sing Zombie by the Cranberries, I always end up with an Irish dialect. Because I'm an Irish American and a German American and a Polish American. But as you can see, with a name like Matt Ryan, I am very Irish. But, and you see Alexander Volkanovski looking like an extra in the movie Snatch. Taking his walk to the octagon, strutting, striving, looking a way to survive, and remain the UFC Featherweight champion. And this is the thing I love about mixed martial arts. We have a huge fight here tonight. We have a crowd and a chat full of some awesome people. And this is the thing that we love doing. We love building this sense of community. We love being a part of this, and we love you being a part of it. So if this is your first time watching us and you really like what's going on, all we ask you to do is hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a comment, let us know where you're coming from. And be sure to join us every single month. If you ring the notification bell, you'll know every time, not only when we drop a video, but when we go live. We start at 9:45, 15 minutes before each main card on the pay-per-view. And that's what we do every pay-per-view, every UFC pay-per-view. Hopefully we'll be bringing you some awesome fights that are not just the UFC this year. We might be bringing you a Canelo Alvarez fight. We might bring you that weird Floyd Mayweather fight that's on in an Abu Dhabi airstrip or some shit on a helipad or some other thing. 70 John Pauletta saying 77%, saying Volkanovski 23% here. Rob Ray saying Zombie doesn't have the power to take out Volkanovski. John Bruce saying Volkanovski's going down. Volkanovski's got the second active longest win streak in the UFC. Trigger D saying Zombie can bite his head. Yes, he can't because it's illegal, but he is a zombie, so he could bite him in his head, head. Zombie, hey. Shout out to Nick McMillan from Marysville, Kansas. Lito Harden, $25 to get back $125. That's not a bad bet. And also, thank you for being cool about not asking to see the fights tonight, guys. Like, that's usually a thing, and you guys are awesome. Zombie by way of assimilation. Trigger D, line of the night candidate. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape here. Volkanovski 33, Korean Zombie 35. Zombie with the height advantage, 1 inch height advantage, 5'7" to 5'6", both coming in at 144.5 pounds. Slight reach advantage for the Zombie, 72 inches to 71.5. And the official introductions here. Zombie by Soft Culture. It'll be Derek Clary. Oh, and they put up the judges for -5 seconds. I feel like they legally have to put it up for like a frame. That's the only thing. They have to frame it. Trigger D screams in kawaii. Korean Zombie just looks like a bad motherfucker. Like, he just looks like a classic. Like, he should be starring in Hard Boiled. There should be an entire sequel, an entire remake to Hard Boiled, where it just features Korean Zombie in it. That's all I'm asking for. How good did Sterling and Kazmat did? That's Mike Wong asking. Oh, they did great. They kicked. Two great fights. Like, Chimaev got pushed to his limit by Burns, and, you know, for Aljamain Sterling, he proved that he can hang with Petr Yan, and he walked out with the title. Whether or not everybody agrees that Aljamain Sterling should remain the undisputed bantamweight champion, all comes down to a trilogy fight, and I hope to see that one in 2022 as Alexander Volkanovski gets introduced to the audience in Jacksonville. Shout out to Jason Mendoza, the pride of Duval. John Bruce saying, don't underestimate the Vicious Throws. I think I saw the Vicious Throws. That just sounds like a band that would have toured with the Veronicas in the early 2000s, or was a supporting act to the Ting Tings in the late aughts, early 2010s. And Unbroken 1010 making his prediction for Volk in the third round. And someone asking why Olive's not co-hosting. Olive's taking a nap right now. Olive the Fat Baby, you usually hear her on the show. For whatever reason, Olive's sleeping tonight. You usually hear Olive giving the dog play-by-play. The SAP button is the dog AP button. It's the dog language option. But not tonight. She's being a good baby and not a crazy baby. But if you love Olive, and I know everybody loves Olive, you could follow her on Instagram at Olive the Fat Baby. That's Olive the Fat Baby. I see Vegeta saying should be no trilogy. Aljo up to nothing. That first fight gave rein to the second fight. And there's still questions. And Volkanovski just staring emphatically into the camera. Has Zombie acted much? I don't know. I don't have his IMDb. If someone can link his IMDb or find his IMDb. I am a big fan of the Korean show, and Stephanie and I both enjoy this show. Our moderator in the chat, Hello My 20s, which is the first season, which involves ghosts, steak, more ghosts, and the mafia. If you love Korean dramas, watch Hello My 20s. And here we go, round number 1 of 5 for the UFC Featherweight Championship. The Korean Zombie battling Alexander Volkanovski. Zombie controlling the center of the octagon. Volkanovski trying to circle. And yes, Ghost 11C2X, she gives dog analysis. 20 seconds gone by in round number 1. Left hand by the Zombie doesn't land. Neither does a leg kick from Zombie. Zombie has his right ankle taped up. And a quick kick to the left ankle, the lead leg. And Volkanovski catches Zombie with a left hand. Missing with the sweeping leg kick. Volkanovski, but he lands a body kick, but lands a shot, does the Zombie. 4:11 left to go in round number 1. Trying to switch it up here is Volkanovski. 4:03 left to go in the round. Volkanovski's back near... Oh, firefight! We got a firefight! Left-right combinations from both fighters. Volkanovski quickly adjourns to the center of the octagon after having his back to the fence. Now the zombie, with his back closer and closer to the fence, sweeping leg kick missed by the Korean zombie. Volkanovski missing with a right uppercut. Left hand missed. Ooh, overhand right, not landed by Volkanovski. Left hand landed by Zombie. Zombie eats a left hand from Volkanovski. Leg kick from Volkanovski. Pace slowing here in round number 1. Stepping in with the right hand was the Korean zombie. Does not land all of it. Pacing the outside and avoiding a vicious left hand was the Korean zombie. Trying to search around. 3:03 left to go in the round. Korean zombie stepping in, missing both shots as Volkanovski keeps his hands up. Circling around the octagon is Volkanovski, stepping into the center. Left hand missed by Volkanovski. Head kick blocked by Sung Jung, a.k.a. the Korean zombie. Left for combination. Missed by Volkanovski. Volkanovski lands a left after Zombie misses a couple of punches. And there's a lot of swelling underneath the right eye of Sung Jung as that left jab is snapping for Volkanovski. And we got a hockey fight and Jung will get out of the way. Stepping into the center. Left hand landed by Volkanovski. Trying to snap that left jab, overhand left, and a leg kick landed by Volkanovski, the defending champion, controlling the pace here in round number 1. 2:12 left to go in the round. Stepping in with the left hand is the zombie. He misses with the overhand left and a leg kick. 2:02 left to go in the round. Leg kick landed by Volkanovski. Stepping in. Oh, Zombie, a little stutter step there, a little flutter step. He tripped up. He might have lost balance. But right now, Sung Jung with that swelling underneath his right eye is going to have to find a way to defend that left jab from the defending champion, Volkanovski. 97 seconds left to go in the first round. Missing with the left hand was Volkanovski, trying to pace around. Is the defending champion who has his back to the octagon fence. Jung controlling the center. Leg kick by Volkanovski stepping in. Jung switching around. Now his back is pressed up against the octagon. And Volkanovski looking to take control. Minute 15 left to go in the first round. Jung pressed up and taken down by Volkanovski. Volkanovski now trying to go into side control. Now in the mount. Trying to pressure, and Jung pressed up against the fence. Could be going for a guillotine here is Alexander Volkanovski. Sung Jung avoids it. Now pressed up against the fence. Trying to do a throw here is either fighter trying to just create some separation. And Jung holding on to that left arm. 42 seconds left to go in the first round. Pressed up against the fence is Sung Jung, a.k.a. the Korean zombie, eating another left hand while being pressed up against the fence. Pushes out and gets a left hand from Volkanovski for his trouble. Under 30 seconds left to go in the first round. 22 seconds now. Pacing around left hand by Jung. That caught Volkanovski a little bit. He had to pounce off of that wall. 15 seconds now. Oh, a right hand from Volkanovski! Sends Korean zombie down. He gets right back up. Tripped up by the zombie. Gets tripped up by Volkanovski. Quick combination. Almost sends him to the ground. Another snapping left jab from Volkanovski. And we will go to the second round. Alexander Volkanovski's left hand is starting to turn Sung Jung's face into someone who's allergic to bees, and he's going to need his glasses. You can't have him without his glasses. Do I think Dana will hand out extra bonuses tonight? Yes. Yes, I do. Trigger D saying Volk is broken son. Unbroken 10 cents. Volk does not look 145. It's crazy. Yeah, Volkanovski winning that first round pretty emphatically. A 10-9 round. I wouldn't say 10-8, but a 10-9 round. because Jung had some moments in there. I feel like we have Trigger D. I feel like we've seen Volk and Rogan together. And Robert Tebow, thank you. Thank you for acknowledging that reference. We begin round number 2 in Jacksonville. Take a sip of the red coffee and lean into this. 10 seconds gone by. Both men standing in the center of the octagon. Volkanovski trying to create something. Leading with that left hand leg kick by Zombie. Standing in the center of the octagon. Leg kick by Volkanovski. Head kick missed by the defending champion. Leads with that left hand. 4:15 left to go. Left shot from by the Zombie to Volkanovski. 4:10 left to go in the round. Overhand right, missed quick combination by Volkanovski, and a right hand to the dome of Sung Jung. Kick to the leg that time, taking out the ankle, did Volkanovski. The Zombie to Volkanovski. Missing with the left hand. Straight left landed by Volkanovski. Steps inside, and Volkanovski sends Sung Jung a little wobble on that left hand. Quick combination from Volkanovski. Another left hand, left right combination. Volkanovski. And Sung Jung not able to create a good punching rhythm here, not able to set up his strikes. Volkanovski finding a way to counterpunch and then create opportunities for combinations off of that. Jung opening himself up here. 3:16. What left to go in the second leg kick by Volkanovski. Jung with a body kick and then throws a left and then steps right into a left hook from the champion. Up kick. Standing kick to the jaw by Sung Jung, landing on that one. Volkanovski avoiding that jab from the Korean Zombie. 2:53 left to go. Volkanovski moving around the octagon. 2:48 left to go. It's UFC 273 on Combat Culture. I'm Matt Ryan, traditionally joined by Brendan Sokler. Olive the Fat Baby and Stephanie Sotilli on the other side of the glass. Left-right combination. Missed by Volkanovski. 2:35 left to go in the second round of 5. And may not get the 5. Korean Zombie eats a right hand and he rubber band-aids himself. Somehow he stays alive after turning into a real-life fucking Toy Story. Andy came into the room and the Zombie for a second went blah and went back up. I don't know how the fuck that happened. 2:15 left to go and Volkanovski takes him down. And now pressed down on the mat is the Korean Zombie, Volkanovski, putting pressure on the throat, trying to drive that forearm in. And now the Korean Zombie trying to pull a submission. Volkanovski fights off and now scrambles right back onto Sung Jung, trying to put pressure now on the Korean Zombie. Left hands from Volkanovski. Trying to land the knee, maybe Volkanovski. Both men back to a standing position. Right hand missed. Sung Jung landing with a glancing left. And a left from Volkanovski trying to go for a single leg takedown. Stifled by Sung Jung. 50 of 90, 56% for Volkanovski. 19 of 62, 31% in terms of significant strikes so far. Missing with the left, Sung Jung. Missing with the overhand right was Volkanovski. Minute 9 left to go. Overhand right missed by Sung Jung. Minute 4 left to go. Trying to step in with the left hand was Korean Zombie. Right hand missed by Volkanovski. Thank you to Fuck You saying badass commentating yell. Yes. That was a combination of words that we all heard together. 44 seconds left to go in the second round. Volkanovski so far 3 of 6 on takedown attempts. 36 seconds and an right uppercut missed by Volkanovski. That would have sent Sung Jung's head into the neighboring county. Overhand right missed by Sung Jung. 25 seconds left to go. Left hands missed. Time winding down. The Zombie will not die, but Volkanovski trying to destroy the head. To kill the zombies, you must destroy the brain, or at least that's what that British movie told me. Left hand by Volkanovski, overhand right misses, and then lands a right uppercut after missing with a left and accidentally headlocking Sung Jung. Kick to the body, and we're going to go to round 3. What a round, and Sung Jung is sitting on the floor, not even sitting on the stool, sitting on the floor, and he is being inspected by the doctor. What a fight, what a round. Chris Lagman saying, Holloway the real champ. Nah, bruh, Volkanovski the real deal. Taking a look here on the chat. Zombie isn't successful with anything. He's landed some solid shots in this fight. J.R. Smith saying the Toy Story reference was money. Thank you. Blessings. Timothy Blake back on the road. Hopefully the gas prices aren't screwing you too hard, my friend. We go into round number 3. Both men slap hands. And here we go. The UFC's clock is brought to you by Timex. Ours is brought by something we bought on Amazon. 4:46 left to go. Left hands. Overhand right missed. Ooh, and an overhand right landed by Volkanovski. Both men teeing off here. Both men not looking to see a 5th and final round. They don't give a fuck about scorecards. They are ready to light each other up as if it was the 4th of July. Left hands, both men missing. Left hand, straight left hand that time by Sung Jung not landing. 4:20 blaze it left to go in the round. Left hand landed by Jung. Leg kick that time by Volkanovski. Both men pacing around the octagon. Leg kick. Right hand landed by Volkanovski, who looks like a more menacing Carl Anderson. And Sung Jung with an overhand right, but gets clapped by Volkanovski. Thank you to Nairo Nut donating $10 to the cause. And the zombie coming in with a combination of his own, but eats a left from Volkanovski. 3:43 left to go. Leg kick. Pacing around. Left hand by Volkanovski. Those left hands must feel like shit hitting your face. That's gotta suck. Left hand missed by Sung Jung. Gets in the pocket. Lands a couple of shots, but gets hit with a knee in a Muay Thai clinch by Volkanovski. Standing in the center of the octagon. Right hand missed by Jung, but clipping the jaw was Volkanovski. 3:07 left to go in the round. Volkanovski looking to pace. Oh, and throws a left. The camera cut made us miss if it hit or not. It looked like he got snapped back on it. And that left jab just starting to feel a lot more free from the hand of Volkanovski. 2:48 left to go. Left hand landed by Volkanovski. Another straight left. Trying to go for a takedown. And Volkanovski trying to spill it. Trying to make something happen here. Now captures, takes the back. And now Sung Jung pressing up against the fence. Pressed up against the fence, pardon me. 2:20 left to go. Locking it in. Trying to get a takedown here. Knee to the thigh by Volkanovski. Pressing off. 2:09 left to go in the 3rd round. Before we head to the championship, pardon me, the 4th round. Now we're in the 3rd round. In the 3rd round, Trigger D's slipping me up here. Minute 55 left to go in round number 3. 86 of 149 in terms, 58% significant strike ratio for Volkanovski. And we get a quick exchange from both fighters. Left hands from Sung Jung. Left hand again from Volkanovski. Knee to the body. Ooh, and an overhand left from Sung Jung. Kick to the body by Volkanovski. Left hand by Sung Jung. 90 seconds left to go in the 3rd round. Almost had a Howard Cosell cadence there, and I apologize. Minute 22 left to go in the round. Right left combination missed by Sung Jung. Minute 15 left hand landed by Sung Jung. Straight left landed by Volkanovski. Leg kick by Volkanovski. Trying to keep the pressure here is the defending champion. Sets it up with a leg kick and then a right hand. .55 seconds left to go in the round. Trying to keep the pressure going here. Zombie, left-right combination. Landing the left more than he landed the right. 42 seconds left to go in the round. Left uppercut by Sung Jung. Left landed by Volkanovski. Steps in left, right by Sung Jung. 31 seconds left to go. Missing with the left, but landing the right and a kick to the body by Volkanovski. Overhand right landed by Sung Jung. 22 seconds left to go. Significant strikes, 30-9, 36-12, and this one's could be over here. Volkanovski has caught the Korean Zombie with a right uppercut, and now Volkanovski teeing off on Sung Jung with 9 seconds left to go in the third. Can this one be over? Can Sung Jung hold on 5 more seconds? Will he make it to the 4th round? And he will somehow, some way. The Korean Zombie doesn't fucking die. What a round, and what a way to... What survival instincts by Sung Jung. And thank you so much for the kind words. And we have 2 more rounds left to go. Bringing you this action here on the Combat Culture YouTube channel. Take a look at the chat here. Trigger D saying Sung Jung was reanimated. Thank you, RJ Landscaper, and thank you, Elias Madrid, for all the kind words, and thank you, everybody watching us. Kumbaya, enjoying it, and we head into the 4th round here. Over 700 people watching us right now. Bless you, love you, thank you. You're all sweeties, and if you want to be an official sweetie, donate to the super chat in the little gimmick below in the chat. 4:41 left to go in the 4th round. Shout out to Adling watching us on Facebook. Standing in the center of the octagon, missing with a right hand, was Volkanovski. Jung looking a little tired, looking a little uncertain on his feet, and gets the tree chopped down. Almost chopped all the way down after another body kick, and the Korean, that's it, it's over! Left-right combination, Herb Dean shuts it down, and Alexander Volkanovski will not be denied. He will be 24-1, and he will remain the UFC Featherweight champion. The Korean Zombie will fall to 17-7, but Sung Jung, that motherfucker, deserves every bit of a bonus. What a fight! What an opportunity to call this one, and Alexander Volkanovski proving he belongs at the top of the mountain at 145 pounds. Good Lord, goddamn, what a fight. What a night, what a fight. That right hand, and then it just like bing bong, that's it. Good night, everybody. See ya. Everybody have fun. Safe travels. You know, stand clear of the closing doors, please. Basically what we just dealt with here. And Volkanovski helping Sung Jung to his seat. Not what you want to see here from any fighter in any situation. And thank you, Jorge. Thanks, Trigger. Thank you, Elias. Yair, I think Yair's next. Thank you, Charlene. You're a sweetie. Thank you, Otis. And we'll get the official decision in just a moment. We'll get your thoughts, and we'll wrap this one up after a long night. If you haven't bought merch yet, click the merch link, tinyurl.com/yellingmerch. Thank you, Adrian. And the money from the shirt will go to Teach for America to help fund teachers in America. And also it's a charity that's very close to my heart because of some friends of mine and the opportunities it allowed for them, or opportunities it was going to allow for them. Alexander Volkanovski winning by TKO here tonight as we wrap things up. Thank you, Charlene, for the nice words. Thank you, Rob Ray. And if you want to hang out tomorrow in Bushwick, head on over to the Muse on 350 Moffett Street for Catalyst Wrestling's Fear and Loathing in New York City. That's Catalyst Wrestling's Fear and Loathing in New York City. We've got people from the NWA, AEW, Ring of Honor, and more, all available tomorrow for $25. And if you want to come say hi to me and say hi to Brendan, you're more than welcome to. Buy a ticket, take the ride. You can get more information at catalystwrestling.com. And shout out to John, shout out to Andrew. Thank you, Kumba, for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, what's wrong with you? Hit the subscribe button, do the thing. But Alexander Volkanovski being interviewed right now. And hopefully we all see you tomorrow. Thank you, Olive. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, everybody who's joining us here tonight in the studio and abroad. On that note, we're going to say thank you and say so long from the studio so I can get some water and I can breathe a little. But thank you guys so much for joining us. We appreciate you. We love you. We will see you on May 7th for UFC 274. Big things popping, little things stopping. So